That's right, everybody. Welcome back to another Pleb Underground Roundtable. Ulrich, how you doing?
I'm allergic to something.
No, that's not good. But I hope you feel better. Humble Warrior, what's happening?
Hello.
Welcome back.
Hey,
We've missed you. We
I
missed you.
you guys. I missed you.
Nice. Now get ready, because there's a whole lot of drama that we are going to dive into. I don't know if you saw, but Tucker Carlson, hot take, very hot take from Tucker Carlson about Bitcoin, and of course, I'm sure that you guys saw the CZ news that he got pardoned. A little bit of backstory though to that, huh? Yeah, apparently there's there's a little bit of knee bending, right? Maybe he did some favors. Maybe that's the reason why he got pardoned. I don't know, but anyways, we're going to be diving into that. We're going to take a look at. We've got some Pleb Underground polls. Thanks to Ulrich. Ulrich put out some interesting polls. We're gonna pull up the results from those polls and
Very interesting.
Yeah, man, absolutely. We've got, of course, some paper Bitcoin endless summer because I can't come up with a better name due to my lack of originality. Apparently, we're starting. Well, as you guys may already know, we're starting a strategic peso reserve. So, Bitcoin strategic reserve down bad. I don't know. Anyways, guys, yeah, you know the deal. There's going to be a lot of drama, a lot of topics. We're going to dive into it, but first we're going to give a shout out to the Pleb Underground sponsor, and we're going to be right back to dive into all the fun. Here we go. Pleb Underground is sponsored by Archimedes Emporium. Discover the pinnacle of precision engineering, starting with their Bitcoin logo wall clock, meticulously machined in Maine from a solid block of aerospace-grade aluminum, ensuring unparalleled durability and performance. Experience the difference of a product made without compromise. Head on over to Archimedes Emporium. All right, let's dive right into it. We're going to dive right into Tucker Carlson and the comment. Here we go.
Can you explain to me who Satoshi was? The creator of Bitcoin, this mysterious guy who apparently died, but nobody knows who he was. I grew up in DC primarily in a government family, so CIA. That's my guess. Can't prove it, but you're telling me to invest in something whose founder is mysterious and has billions of dollars of unused Bitcoin. What is that? And no one can answer the question, including some of the biggest holders of Bitcoin in the world. Do I know personally? They're like, oh, it doesn't matter. It matters to me, right?
It matters to him, but nobody asks about the dollars, right? It's just the government. The government makes the dollars. Okay, so Satoshi is CIA. I want your thoughts. I mean, look, this is, wondering who Satoshi is kind of like a rite of passage, right? It's part of I genuinely feel like it's part of the hodler's journey, if you decide, right? Essentially, if you decide to do a little bit more than just hodl Bitcoin and you decide to become a fanatic and a degen, like us, I'll say like me, I'll leave you guys out of it. But, part of the journey is to sit there and genuinely try to figure out, right, who Satoshi is. And you're going to figure it out, right? You're going to be different. You are going to find the piece of information that no one else found. Did you think you would?
I mean, it sounds a lot like the communism of this generation. Like somehow I'm going to be the one to make communism right. When Matt Madani or Madmani in New York, all the young people who are supporting that guy, because guess what? His Democratic Socialists of America dynamic is going to fix everything, right? Because socialism has failed everywhere else, but somehow he's special. Tucker Carlson was born, he says he's grew up in DC. I thought he was from California. I went to the Tucker Carlson convention with Corey Clipston a year ago in August of 24, in the summer of 24. And I'm certain he was talking about how he was a native Californian. So, Tucker Carlson, he likes, it sounds like he's playing both any side of the fence that fits him. Why should we be trusting Tucker if he grew up in DC and his family is from DC, so certainly they are some sort of government spooks, right? Like, why are we listening to him? You know,
I just want to add in, you are correct. He's from San Francisco.
yeah. So it's like he's from everywhere. He has an affinity everywhere. He has, and you know, this is the style of his engagement is to figure out where can I get the most bang for not buck. Where can I get the most bang for the words that come out of my mouth? Because his words are worth money. He's a rich person and he has narratives. And look, I agree with a lot of things that Tucker says. But when it comes down to this type of thing, I don't know who the owner is, therefore I'm going to stay away. Here's the catch. Like, if you understood the fundamentals, no one particular person is the owner. That every node is a part of the law enforcement of Bitcoin. But he doesn't want to go down that path, because when he looks at the demographics and the analysis and he talks to his team and says, what should I say about this? It's like, well, Tucker, it seems like conspiracy theories are hot right now. And it would be very interesting based on your base if you somehow found a way to say that the evil government is somehow involved in it, and it's going to create outrage and virality, and it's going to cause people to engage with you more so than if you just said, yeah, Bitcoin is cool, I'm going to buy it. That's boring. Everyone's buying it. You have to be different. In my opinion, it's an engagement ploy that Bitcoin suit coiners are using right now, that Bitcoin influencers have used in the past. Let's find out what my crowd will most likely engage and run with it. I mean, look, Tucker was going to partner with Swan literally last year. All of a sudden, within 12 months, all of a sudden 12 months later, he thinks that the CIA created Bitcoin. He's taking pictures. He's rubbing elbows with all the Bitcoin, the CEO of Marathon, Corey Clipston. And then all of a sudden, it's run by the CIA. Look, it's for views. And from that matter, we should be cognizant of who we're watching and be willing to engage with them appropriately. But don't reward this type of behavior.
Mm. Humble, before your thoughts, Z-Logic, worst case, internet was from DARPA anyways, right? Yeah, exactly. And
right.
This is something that we've said before. You know, most of the technologies that we're using were developed by three-letter agencies. It's neither here nor there.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, he's not discussing that, is he?
No.
No, I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, he didn't get into, at least I don't think he did, with like the SHA 256, right? That was created by the NSA. And so is that the hill that he's dying on? You know, just because of that? I think it's exactly what Ulrich has to say is, you know, speaking to his audience. Ulrich frozen right now? No. Oh gosh. It's statue mode. That's a really good statue mode. Nice. Okay. That was really good.
It was just he does it.
Look at him. He's like a pro.
And you can do that for a living.
I know.
Like the people on like Santa Monica Boulevard or
until he has to sneeze because of his allergies. But yeah.
That's great.
So yeah, I will be interested to see how his tune changes in the future, you know, to attract the appropriate people. Yeah.
Last year for his crowd, Bitcoin was cool. This now, the people he's pandering to, Bitcoin's not so cool in that particular, right? In that particular environment, right? With those people, but I'm sure that that's different somewhere else.
There's too many other conspiracy theories to focus on.
There is.
You know.
So speaking of conspiracy theories, we're gonna move on to CZ. Yeah, so Trump pardons convicted Binance founder. It's easy, right? What a surprise. We are surprised. a unique perspective, as to why this possibly happened. Maybe sooner than later. Something to think about, at least, right? Something to think about. World Liberty has generated significantly more income for the Trump family in the past year than their property portfolio ever has annually. Binance has been one of the main drivers of the growth of World Liberty's dollar-pegged cryptocurrency called USD1. It delivered World Liberty's first big break this spring when it accepted a $2 billion investment from an outside investor paid in USD1s. Binance has also incentivized trading in USD1 across platforms it controls. It's pretty interesting how you can just help out friends, right? You could just do that, right? You can do stuff like that, and it's not for any other motive, right, than just trying to do the right thing in the market. Helping out the Trump coin. No ulterior motives.
It's not helping out the Trump coin. It's helping out World Liberty Financial. Trump coin is definitely down.
My bad. I mean, it's all the same crap. I apologize. I know we're supposed to be drawing lines in the sand. It's all turds. Anyways, yeah. I don't even know what to say about that. Right? Like, is anyone surprised? Right? Like, oh wow. You know what? Okay, I'll say this. One thing I'm surprised about. SBF, man. SBF. He's obviously doesn't have the moves. Right? Because CZ clearly has the moves, right? And SBF doesn't. So,
but it is funny how SBF was very much supported by these Democrat leaders, and CZ seems to have an affinity with Trump, and so there are two sides of the coin. There's shitcoin casino dealers for every side of the American political landscape. So it's like these types of things, if we just look at all the horrible things that have happened in crypto, humble with the focus. That's so funny. That's that camera has a mind of its own. All the horrible things that happen in crypto, and they all lead to, at least in the recent times, it's led to Binance, Coinbase, and what is it called? SBF. What's his FTX.
FTX, yeah.
These are the problems that have caused that. These are the points in history that have caused people to say, yeah, I would get into Bitcoin, but that one thing happened, and it's like Bitcoin failed me because of that. And these government leaders don't seem to want to go down a path where we have an ethical form of money, where we have an ethical form of investment, and they rather enable these people to basically bend the law to enable theft. And it's wrong, and that's why these coins are made. That's why Bitcoin isn't good enough for these leaders, for these powerful people. That's why instead of buying Bitcoin, you buy an altcoin. Instead of buying Bitcoin, you buy a Bitcoin treasury company. Instead of buying Bitcoin, you buy a mining stock. But all these people are working around that, or playing around the Bitcoin ecosystem, but they're ignoring the reason why we're all here in the first place. And it's because it's hard to capitalize off of just a, what would you call it? You call it an open source, an open standard platform, an open standard system. So yeah, they're going to keep on trying, and they're going to keep on enabling the powerful people that have been convicted to come back and do more bad things, and more regular people will get rug pulled, and we'll still be talking about it.
Yeah, excellent points. Humble, your thoughts on this?
I don't have too much to add on that, outside of the fact that there's the affinity between the parties with SBF and the Democratic Party.
Yes, that's right.
Really, really glaringly obvious. So, yeah, I don't know how that's going to end up playing out, but I don't think it's going to get pardoned. I don't think so.
But money, though, right? Like, I mean, does it make a difference, right? I mean, apparently, I guess it makes a difference who he gets. Maybe sometimes it matters who he gets the money from.
Yeah, I don't
think about it, right? Like CZ is not really affiliated with Democrats or Republicans, right? It's just about essentially helping out World Liberty.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. It is kind of interesting. That's I wonder. because SBF's family, like they're all hooked up. So yeah, I don't know, it's kind of weird. Okay. Anyways, moving on from the CZ stuff. Here we go. So this is actually Ulrich. This is from you.
Hello.
Yeah, this is a funny one. So yeah, crypto bros, when they talk about utility, and we're gonna show this video. I have to preface it with your tweet. Okay.
I don't even remember.
Yeah, no, this
posting
is
that.
fantastic. This is a pure shitcoin meme. All right, here we go.
Oh.
That's a shitcoin meme. Look, the cucumbers. Like, what is the point of this? What's the point of this? Yeah, no, we're gonna watch the whole thing because it's absolutely ridiculous. I feel like that's Solana for some reason.
We're gonna get banned.
This is for sure yield, by the way. That was yield.
Oh, God.
Yeah, meme tokens. Oh, maybe ordinals.
I don't understand the mouth fix. That's just dangerous.
Oh god. Oh god. I'm sorry.
Man has an affinity for putting things in his mouth. Good lord. You can make money doing anything these days. I think we're missing out.
The art industry 2025, ladies
He had
and
a
gentlemen.
theme though. He had a theme at first with the cucumbers and the pickles, and then he brought out the bread, and that's where he lost me. He lost me with believe it or not, he lost me with the bread at the end. So I didn't, he had a theme. He had a theme going. Anyways.
Yeah, what do you need? What do you need all that for? I think it's a good analogy with the utility. These tokens start making things that we don't really need. I mean, real life. What is it? Real estate tokens. Real life application to digital assets. It's unenforceable. It's with the only way you can enforce it is with a real life arbiter, which is what we have anyways with government entities and institutions. To try to work around that is to basically create that kind of that video that you see there. So again, the only utility for cryptocurrency right now is to create secure money that is borderless and unconfiscatable and uninflatable, and that's what Bitcoin is. And any other utility that may be able to be discovered on Bitcoin, as long as it's not getting in the way of self-custody or the cap or any of the essential faculties of Bitcoin, then it's okay to listen to it. But we already have our utility. All those other tokens are meaningless.
Your take is way too intelligent for that video.
Such a fundamentalist.
I really,
that was like, oh, go ahead, Humble.
Oh no, I was waiting for you to say something like Bitcoin isn't crispy. You can't toast it. You can't, like the pickles, the cucumbers, the carrots. But yeah, that's good. That's good. Very good.
All right, we got more though. We've got the adventures in shitcoining don't end. Don't worry. The Hopium is just as cringe, which you'd think it wouldn't be, but yet here we are. Okay, so we got this tweet from Big Sean Harris, right? And you responded to this one too, Ulrich.
Yeah.
I know I play basketball, and so did he. But come on, guys, we all know he's going to be shitcoining in under 6 months, and that is Tristan Thompson. Bitcoin is the retirement plan for a generation that doesn't trust the system. Oh boy, Ulrich went and looked at the profile. This hero didn't even have a chance, didn't even get to become a hero. Didn't even get to become a hero immediately. So yeah, Ulrich's response, when's Solana project, Luna PR? Because if you go take a look at his profile, unfortunately.
That's in his profile. That's the one link.
Yeah, that's the one link in his profile. And I mean, look, the shitcoin exchanges, they are going all out 100%.
I didn't even
That's
see this
right.
one.
Yeah,
Jaron
this
Jackson.
Jaron Jackson Jr., right? They're wishing him, look, best for the coming year, right? From BTCC exchange.
Sounded like Coinbase in 21 when they had Steph Curry, Shaq. They had Klay Thompson. I mean, I did a video on this while I was at Swan, and it's probably my worst video that I did because most people don't like to incorporate sports ball with crypto or Bitcoin. But you have to understand that these sports ball people, these athletes, they are super influencers, and these crypto platforms are understanding that, and they're trying to pull in people for that affinity. I like Tristan Thompson. I like who played with LeBron in the championship years at Cleveland. I like Tristan Thompson. So therefore, I'm going to buy his project. You can see it already happening with Scottie Pippen right now. You saw it happening in 4 years ago when they were showing Coinbase commercials during the playoffs. Crypto.com. Arena, which is what Staples Center has been named since 21. This is a long-winded plan to separate fools from their money. These basketball players, they're wearing. You have last year you had a couple of Cleveland Cavaliers wearing a Satoshi shirt, and everyone goes crazy online. It's like Darius Garland wearing a Satoshi shirt last week during the first week of the NBA playoffs.
I saw that.
Ja Morant wearing, it says like a little Satoshi right here. And by the way, these shirts are like high fashion. It's like an $800 sweater. No one's, it's not for the regular people. And poor people who follow these people. It's like, oh, that's just some rich high fashion thing that I'll gawk at and I'll never be able to afford. They don't care if it says Satoshi or crayon. It's not increasing adoption. It's a cool thing to have for these rich people who understand a little bit of rich things. Does Ja Morant have some Bitcoin? Probably he's worth 100 million. Does Tristan Thompson have Bitcoin? He's worth 50 million. Yeah, he probably has some Bitcoin. But it's not about what it does for the world. They're rich regardless, just like Tucker. The catch is that these companies are saying, we'll give you another 2 million in endorsement deals if you can just say that you like our project, you like our exchange. Stop engaging with this nonsense. And the worst part about it is you see the Tristan Thompson post. Besides Sean Harris, if you scroll down, I see a bunch of Bitcoiners that I follow and that follow me. And they're saying based, like, whoa, Tristan, like you're so cool. And they're not, and their vision is they don't see past the tip of their nose. These are Bitcoiners. We're going to have another bear market, and another one after that, and probably another one after that, because we haven't learned to catch a thief. That's it. We haven't learned to call out criminals. They're in our midst. Bitcoin treasury companies. They're in our midst, and we propagate them. We lift them up. A basketball player, a soccer player says Bitcoin, all of a sudden they're our savior. Ain't nothing changed in 4 years. No, it really hasn't. Humble. I just want to point out that Humble's shirts are way nicer than that one that that guy was wearing that we saw. Mm-hmm. The one you're talking about was like that kind of like faded black shirt. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was and it just said like Satoshi up in the corner. It's like that was weak. Yeah, but guess what? All types of engagement, all kinds of different platforms said, look what Ja Morant is wearing. No, half the Bitcoiners don't know who Ja Morant is, but guess what? Influencer, famous person wears something, all of a sudden we have to report on it. Like, that's not what Bitcoin is. Like, Bitcoin enables us to not have to lean on individual lords and individual, super people, and enable the regular people to be super on themselves. Sovereign individualism. This is sloppy. So yeah, it is. We lost Humble there for a second. I don't know how much she heard about the end of that, because she just kind of froze out there. But we're gonna continue on with the. So look, even though this here. Hear us out, okay? Hear us out, right? So Beyond Meat stock, right? BYND extends pre-market rally at over 100%, now up 600% in 3 days. So look,
the whole reason we're bringing this up, that's, by the way, an insane parabolic chart for a stock that was going straight to zero in the last like year or so. But the reason why we bring this up is shout out to Dude Lebowski, fellow Bitcoiner. Did Beyond Meat have a pre-mine? And it kind of brought up an interesting point, right? They did kind of create something out of nothing. It was fake meat, and it's kind of like maybe a little bit of a lesson in shitcoining, right? They made absolutely nothing. It was vaporware, and it was pretty gross. And in all fairness, I'm not just talking from somebody who has not tried one of their disgusting clay hamburgers. I did try it, not out of my own desire, out of the feeling to kind of not cause trouble right at the cookout and be like, yeah, sure, why not?
Oh no!
We'll try this. Yeah, this will be fun. Yeah, it's great. Yeah. Anyways, dude, it was like eating clay. I don't care how hot you make that thing, how much ketchup you add, whatever. Like, yeah. So, lesson in there in shitcoining, huh?
Not only that, but did you notice that? I mean, we took that picture right around the time when it happened. That was about a week ago.
Oh yeah,
dude, they're all the way back below what they started. Like October 21st, they were at 230.
Oh
they
wow,
they shot up October 22nd to 739, and that was the big peak.
I'm gonna show this. I'll just pull up the chart. Hold on.
We have to talk about that. And
yeah,
what is
the charts? Like? Why not? Even though this isn't even shitcoins, doesn't matter. We're gonna make fun of it.
What is it when you look at that?
Oh my god! So this is the 30 minutes. I love doing monthly charts. Oh my god!
What does it look like? Wait, is that when it IPO'd?
Yeah. This is from the time it IPO'd.
Oh, I didn't even know it was. That new.
Right before COVID, man. It was great. They were.
Okay, that's 2020. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, this is right here. This is 2020 right here, right? So they pumped into 2020, then they just sank all the way. At the start of 2020, they were like at the $75 range, and then it pumped all the way back up to a high of around 200 and change, and now we're at $1.81.
And now, so zoom into the recent when you get a chance. Zoom into the last 20 days.
Okay,
20 or 30 days. It's remarkable.
Well, now we're gonna go to the 30-minute chart.
What? That's perfect.
Yeah.
What does that look like? That looks like Naka.
Yeah.
That looks like Naka. That looks like Coincilium. That looks like any Bitcoin treasury company that came after MicroStrategy, really. Like they, and by the way, and also it also looks like Zcash. Zcash has this pump. It hasn't dipped down yet, but I'm pretty sure that tail side is coming for Zcash, right?
Naka looks like a sled.
Yeah. It's so crazy how all of these scams look exactly the same on their charts.
Yeah.
Every time. What does it show? That means we talk about that. David Bailey mentioned that. Oh yeah, they're calling the Bitcoin treasury companies IC. The ICOs. They're not ICOs. This is the future. But every ICO looked exactly like every single Bitcoin treasury company. Without MicroStrategy, you could say MicroStrategy is flat, whatever. They have 600,000 coins. Like it's hard to die when you have 500,000 Bitcoin. But every other one, that's the copycats, they all look like ICOs. And it's kind of embarrassing that the Bitcoin industry somehow created for themselves something as fake as Beyond Meat. Because those things are as fake as those cryptos that died off before they even got started. Let's learn from the past and not repeat it.
Absolutely. Humble, welcome back.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, my computer doesn't like Telegram up at the same time.
That's funny. I was just looking at Telegram. Like maybe I should close this.
Yeah. I know.
But I was just saying, I don't know how much you heard, but back in the previous segment, just quickly, I was commenting how your clothing is a lot nicer than that. I don't know if you saw that famous, I don't know who it was, that was wearing the Satoshi sweater. So yeah.
Yeah, no, it's it's Satoshi Nakamoto is the brand. That is the brand.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah,
I
it's
misunderstood.
it's very expensive. It's a
Yeah.
very expensive brand. You can get it on there's a website called Sovereign. I think it's Sovereign.
Yeah,
And
no, I saw some stuff last year. There's an $800 jersey is like red and I'm not red, but like yellow and brown or yellow and black.
yeah, it's the
Not
best
for us.
players. Seriously, it's like I think last year, the year before that, it was a female basketball player. Get her name.
Yeah, they recruit big time people to wear their stuff, and then people say, "Oh, who are you wearing?" And it's like,
but it's not because of Bitcoin. They're just like a cool name, sounds good. Let's make it trendy and charge a lot of money for it. You know, I mean,
I'm dying inside a little.
Earlier, it's like what you were saying. Oh,
it doesn't matter if it's named Tomato or
no.
It's also cringe.
If it's called Paintbrush, it was like, oh, who are you wearing? Oh, I'm wearing Paintbrush. Paintbrush, what is that? Well, let me tell you. Like, it's made by this person named John Doe, and it's like, oh wow. And then all of a sudden, Paintbrush, because the website shuts down because everyone's running there because that person was wearing. It doesn't matter if it's Satoshi. Like, it's not causing people to go run and buy Bitcoin. It's causing people maybe run and buy Satoshi Nakamoto clothing brand. They wouldn't even know nor care that there's some cryptocurrency name that was created by Satoshi.
No,
I would wear crayon brand clothing.
Crayon too.
No, I think Balenciaga has a bracelet that you can buy, and it is like a roll of tape. It's literally like but it says Balenciaga on it. And
this is all. This is all humiliation rituals. Like that. That's what this is. Like they're just trying to see like how stupid humans can be, and how much they're willing to pay to think that they're not looking stupid. I don't know. It's just also embarrassing.
That world.
We're gonna move on from the embarrassing world of cringe. We're done with the shitcoin adventures. Don't worry, guys. We're moving on to the Hopium and the Copium. That's right. We're kicking it off with something that might, even though it's part of the Hopium, but who knows? It might be seen as Copium. I'm not really sure. So everyone's talking about Bitcoin going to $1 million. Few are prepared for 50K. Ta-ta. Veteran risk manager John Glover explains why cycles test your conviction. And of course, I'm not just going to show you that. We're going to play the clip. Here we go, guys. Get ready.
My father says I'm the oldest guy in digital asset space. She says I put the crypt in crypto, and having all of that experience and that that scar tissue is because you do understand that bear markets do happen. I've experienced so many of them over my kind of 35-year career in banking and in crypto. You just have to be prepared for them and make sure you understand what exposure you truly have, because as you said, you want to hang on to your crypto during those periods, and you want to add to it during those periods. And just you want to make sure you're in a position where you'll be able to do that. So just don't. I have this conversation with a lot of young people in the space a lot. Don't assume that Bitcoin's going to $1 million next year and it can't go down to 50,000 first. Because either one of those things can happen. One is more likely than the other next year, and it's not the $1 million.
One is more likely next year, and it's not the $1 million.
Bummer.
But when people hear that, they don't, they take it for face value or take it literally and say, oh, I don't think it's going to $1 million. I think it's going to 300,000 or 400,000. And so they put all their eggs in that modification of what that man said. And mind you, like his disposition is not sell your Bitcoin. His disposition is essentially stay humble. And he's saying crypto or Bitcoin, whatever. And he's understanding that cycles are real, that it's not up forever. All the things that, again, a large contingency of Bitcoiners have subscribed to Michael Saylor's talking because, again, Michael Saylor is a very, very convincing. He saved a lot of people. He's made a lot of people money. He's gathered for himself a large contingency of yes men. And so the narrative is strong. And a lot of people with their feet planted on the ground are getting their head in the clouds a little bit. This guy's saying, hey, 50K is more likely than up forever next year. Don't forget that he said a million, and even forget that he said 50K.
He said a million.
Yeah. And he said 50K, and guess what? He may be
said
wrong on both sides. I don't think it would go to 50K again, but I do think that we have a retraction that keeps us honest, that liquidates a lot of gambling, and we have to be honest with where our position is. Don't think you're going to get rich quick or rich tomorrow off of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is designed to fight the traditional economic system, but that traditional economic system is strong and it's going to survive for a long time. And that fight is going to be long and arduous. So we have to say, hey, Bitcoin's not just going to win overnight, but a lot of people that want to sound important, that want to be viral, they're going to say that. And, it's for us in the Pleb Underground, it's not worth lying to you for the sake of views. We could lie and we can get a whole bunch of views like, your next favorite Bitcoin show. But we rather be truthful so that when, times are tough, you kind of know who to trust. We want you for the long haul, not just for, your like and your engagement in the moment.
Solid. Humble.
I like what I was told when I was first in, that it's because it was when I was trading. So it was my first crash, and I tried to get all of my Bitcoin off the exchange and all the other shit coins that I had. And of course, all of them were crashing, but I was able to get some of my stuff eventually. But I was sitting on the sidelines for a large chunk that I wanted to put in, and there were two people, like Satya and Tao. Some people
I know Satya.
Yeah, Satya. Yeah. So we were in a space, and I think Tao was on the sidelines too. And it's like, when should we get back in? Like, okay. So the reality check is, do you believe that it's going to go up to like $300,000? Do you believe it's going to do that eventually? Like, like, well, yeah, yes, I absolutely. I mean, it will. And it's like, okay, well, then just buy in now. It's not like there's a bad time to buy. And like my husband and I will have these discussions too, because it's like, okay, should we put the majority of the money in now, or should we hold off? And it's like, well, there's really no good time to do it, especially now. I mean, it's different with the ETFs, with everybody, it's just, it is a little, I don't know. But
yeah,
that's why you just buy.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, I used to go through the same exact mental gymnastics, and I'd be like, all right, I'll buy like a certain amount this week and then a certain amount next week. And like none of that ever really ended up working out. And the only way that I ever felt that I was doing the right thing is just by buying everything I possibly could on the moment. And that way I didn't have to sit there and think, oh no, I'm out of Bitcoin right now. Like didn't have to worry about that because you're all in. So it's all good. It's okay. Like I'm there for the ride. Yeah. So,
and it's good to be all in. It's just not to be good to have your skis, your head over your skis or whatever the term is. Basically I think that man is explicitly talking to the over leveraged crowd, which is very, very important. And this is the kind of thing where people lose their house, lose their lifestyle because they are gambling. And while if you have $1 and you say, I want that dollar in Bitcoin, you're not going to be, you're not going into the negative by making that move. And that's important to remember, that if you're 1-to-1, that's good. When you're 10-to-1, 100-to-1, when you're playing futures, and you think that that's being a Bitcoiner, that's the wrong take, and you're going to get in trouble playing those types of games. And so we all have to learn to self-custody, and at some point it's going to make sense, but we're far from that.
Yes,
we collectively.
Yes, we are the we collective. All right, moving on. We're looking at more Hopium here. Yeah, we're gonna zoom in on this chart here so we actually know what it is that we're looking at. So the Bitcoin adoption has reached 4.7% globally, matching the internet's adoption level in 1999. Guys, you should, if you're old enough, you do know what comes next. You do know what comes next. Yeah. So that's good stuff. that's all there is to it.
And that's not necessarily good.
Of course it is. It's great. What are you talking about? Adoption.
What about the .com bust?
That's okay. But that's the thing, right? That's the whole thing about the .com bust. Like that pretty much had to happen because again, right? It's the cycles of human behavior, right?
Yeah.
Where sorry, I'm pulling up stuff while we're talking, but essentially like. Yeah, essentially what it is that, you know, you've got these cycles of exuberance, right? People get all excited, right, about, you know, what can happen right now, you know, like with the internet, with this technology, what's going to happen right now. And then finally the euphoria wears off, you know, it kind of breaks down and people are like, oh my gosh, no way, that was just pie in the sky. It's never going to happen. And then we go into that cycle of unhappiness and like, this is never going to work and things are only going to get worse and blah, blah, blah. But of course, right, during that time, that is when all the businesses that are really there to build, they're the ones laying the inroads, right? Like during that time, especially during the .com, it's great that you brought that up. Like during the .com bubble, right? Amazon was actually sitting there and like they were tiny and nobody even knew who they were. It was like a penny stock.
Yeah.
Okay. But they were building, right? eBay was doing the same thing. eBay was already around. They got destroyed. Doesn't matter. They just kept on building. Adobe just kept on putting out more updates and building more products. Right? Like it's just because these things happen. So all that to say, we're going to end up seeing this in this space as well. You know, I was talking about this earlier today with Pirate. You know, these businesses, especially, I hate to shit on the Bitcoin treasury companies, but here we go. We're going to talk about them later anyways. So I'm not going to talk about it too long right now, but you know, most of these businesses have no business. Right. Most of these businesses have, like, you know, I've said this 1,000 times, they don't have any actual real business, right? So they don't have operating cash flows. They don't make money to keep the lights on during the day. So these businesses, when Bitcoin's price is going to, you know, not be so good and not be so interesting, right? Their prospects being able to sell their shares, being able to acquire cheap debt also goes away. And only the businesses that can actually afford to keep the lights on are going to be able to hang on to their Bitcoin. That's what I believe.
That's right.
You know, it's going to be I think it's the same thing again. You know,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
No, was that chart crypto or was it Bitcoin?
No, this was the Bitcoin. Yeah.
Okay.
Specifically Bitcoin adoption, or at least that's the way it's being framed. Let me say it like that. That's the way it's being framed.
Okay.
And we hope that, you know, that adoption is real, whatever adoption is defined as. Again, if you have $100 in a Coinbase wallet, you know, you can't really call that adoption. You know, adoption is where I remember Cresius discussed, he threw out an arbitrary number saying, hey, it's got to be $5,000 it's got to be something that the regular person would miss if it was gone. But then you have to think about, well, the regular person, first world country, like, what does that mean? What does adoption mean for someone in Nigeria? You know, are they just, hey, they don't have $5,000 of savings? You know, what does it mean for someone in the global South, or whatever term you want to use? So I don't think there's any real way to capture adoption where it can be narrowed into some number. So it is hopium. I will say that just from a time perspective, Bitcoin not dying means that more and more people are recognizing it, and more people are recognizing that it's not dying. And so therefore, it becomes more of an institution, more of a staple. More people are born into a world where Bitcoin is just a part of you know, the formula, and that's a good thing. So I think there is some sort of hopium there, but that curve is not going to be as easily defined, you know, as the internet where you can just count modems activated, IP addresses?
It happens tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. We're in the Hopium segment. That's
right.
right.
We're in the Hopium segment. That happens tomorrow.
Of course.
All right, moving on. More Hopium, more charts. Everybody loves charts, shapes, and numbers that point to the number going up. Okay, so we're in the most bullish quarter of the 4-year cycle, and
when
yeah. I don't like. I don't even know. I don't even know the concentric circles. I know we're somewhere down here, and we're somewhere in the outer rings.
We just crossed over.
We should be like somewhere in these outer rings in like these big green blotches.
Yeah. The euphoria, anyway, I'm a genius.
Yeah, we're like in the possible thrill. Okay. I don't think we're in the euphoria stage. No? I don't think we're there. I do not believe we're in the euphoria stage. But I try to remember the way that I thought about things last cycle, and I remember being at 69K, right? The second time. And I remember thinking to myself, no, I'm not feeling euphoric. We've got a ways to go. And indeed, we had a ways to go, but it wasn't the way that I thought we were going to go.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a ways to go the other way. So I don't know, like sometimes I just can't trust myself. Right. It's like you want to believe that you're being, objective looking at this information. However, like, is it that we maybe, or I don't feel euphoria because I look at this every single day? And maybe if I was a normie, I'd be seeing a whole different picture. Like, would I have a whole different experience of this? I'm sure I would. I don't know. I'm not trying to be a bear during the Hopium segment. I still think we're going up, but I just, I get afraid.
The good thing about where we are right now, just for, taking that chart away, it's good to rehearse these things. There's a lot of things that are putting a damper on big money. When you consider we're in a government shutdown right now, we're going to be in the longest government shutdown, on history, on record. I think if you went to Kalshi or Polymarket there, that it's a 50% chance of breaking that record by about 10 to 15 days. We probably won't expect to get out of this shutdown until November 15th or 20th. That's what the betting market says. When you think about the deal with China and Trump talking about the deal with China, all this big money has decided to park itself in gold. Because it's out there. There's a lot of liquidity, and they say, I don't know where I want to put my money because guess what? There's a lot of uncertainty still. So that's why gold went up to an all-time high. But what have you guys seen in the last week? Gold went from 4,400 to back down to 4,000.
Yeah.
Why is that? Well, I thought gold is supposed to be the new monetary standard now. No, what it was that was a period of uncertainty. That was Trump threatening tariffs on China November 1st. Guess what he's not going to do? He's not going to raise tariffs 100% on November 1st. That's where we started going down in October, if you guys recall. So now you have that. November 1st is going to pass, no tariffs. You're going to have the Fed rates go down again tomorrow or the day after, and they're going to go down the next time in December. Then you have the government shutdown saying, hey, everyone's going to claim victory because we finally decided to take care of everything because guess what? They don't want to shut down. They don't want the Defense Department to shut down. I have my industry. You guys can go look at my LinkedIn. I work in that realm, and I'll tell you, as a contractor, once they start saying to Lockheed or Northrop, oh, we can't pay you guys, all those lobbyists are going to be saying, we don't care about your virtue signal. You either pay us or you're going to regret it. So they're going to stop that. And also the food, the government food services, like those start ending in mid-November. So what I'm saying is that all these things are going to iron out. And then all of a sudden, money's going to be flowing into the things that it needs to flow into, and Bitcoin's going to be one of them. So I would say that's my Hopium segment here. We have a good ways to go. I don't know where the top is, but I'm telling you that there is going to be a flow of money coming in a few weeks. Hold firm. Don't listen to all the FUD. We're going to be good. November is going to be chef's kiss.
All right, I feel better. Humble.
Oh yeah, yep. Feel wonderful about that. That's absolutely great. Wonderful.
And Z Logic says keep it shut down forever. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
We're still paying taxes, brother. We're still paying taxes. So things are somehow they ain't working, but we still owe the government money. So if we're gonna owe them money, they might as well do something. Because we're just gonna pay them and they're just gonna accept it. So it's like we kind of have to call a spade a spade. The government ain't going away just because some Congress people are rattling sabers. So the good thing about the government not being shut down is that all those people is that you front run all the people who say, oh, I want to get into Bitcoin. So hold on to your Bitcoin and know that they're going to pump that sucker because they understand that that's an important part of their portfolio.
We're going to move on. So much more Hopium to go through.
What is that?
To go through. This is just wanted to point out, right, that the day last week, I think it was, or the week before, we did get a 20K candle.
Oh yeah,
we did get a 20K candle, right? It just wasn't the 20K candle that everybody wanted. Oh yeah, that's
I blotted that out of my memory. I was like, what is that? I don't even remember.
Yeah, right, guys. It's real and it happened. Okay, it's real and it happened. So yeah, be careful what you ask for, right? You just might get it. Those Omega candles go both ways, right?
Right.
So okay, so more of the gold leads Bitcoin, Hopium, which I mean last week I already showed at least one example of how this is untrue, and there's a whole reputable report that was written out about the lack of correlation between gold value and gold's price rise and Bitcoin value and price rise. Actually, there's a increasing lack of correlation. So,
right.
Anyways, whatever. I mean, look, this is definitely nice. This makes us feel good. Yay. Look, think of it much less about it being about gold and much more about people learning about Bitcoin and being more fearful about the fact that the money is broken.
I will say that ever since gold, like I said before, when gold fell off of its top, Bitcoin kind of recovered a little bit. It was trending towards a 107 range, and then all of a sudden, and Bitcoin and gold was 4,400. Now we see Bitcoin, gold at 4,000, and Bitcoin at 115, 114.
Yeah,
I think that's a good. Guess what? The speculative part of gold, there's a much more volatility than ever before, and they were speculating because of all the things that we just discussed. And as those things flesh out, those speculators, those short-term hodlers, or the what would you call it? The tourists, if you will. Hey, we've been in this gold theme park. It's kind of boring. Hey, we're going to sell out of it. Oh, look at that Bitcoin thing. Look at that Bitcoin thing. We'll go into that for a minute. Don't expect them to stick around forever. But guess what? The tourists will pump your bags just as much as the hodler. It just may be a little more temporary. But that's what this time frame is about. We're going to visit price points that we've never seen before, and we're only going to see it for a short time. If it touches 200,000, you think we're going to be flat for 6 months? No, we're going to tip 200,000, and it's going to be a sell-off. The bear market will come. But it's nice to see. It's nice to have price discovery, and those tourists will help us get there.
That's a good point. Humble?
Oh, we have a visitor. I
know we do have a visitor, but
we do.
No. Yeah. Humble's point first.
Humble's point first.
Well, now I'm going to be distracted. Okay. I mean, I think the people are going to be looking into gold. They're eventually going to be talking about Bitcoin as well. So I mean, tourists. I think there's tourists around. Sorry. Yeah. Who's the tour? Who are you talking to?
She wanted to see who's the special guest.
I know, like, is somebody coming on or something?
Oh no, okay. So it's Mike Tidwell. He's the organizer for TabConf.
Oh,
Right? The
okay.
creator of TabConf.
Nice
Okay.
to see you,
And
Michael.
he's
Thank you for
asking
joining.
if we covered BIP 444 yet. So no,
No,
have
we
not,
didn't.
we haven't talked about core versus knots yet. That is like it's probably like at
the
least
end.
half an hour away. Yeah, close to the end. Right. We like to just talk about core versus knots right before we sign off, so that way we don't give people enough time to get upset. Just
Yeah, we start getting unsubscribes when we talk about that on both sides.
Oh,
because
man,
guess
it's
what? We're
brutal.
not taking one side or another. Go figure.
You know what? Both sides can be wrong in different ways.
That's right.
And I'm okay with that nuance, right? You
That's right.
can be you can not be a spam apologizer, but also think that running knots is just
Questionable, maybe
or not
cause
really
for
what I want to do.
a topic.
So yeah, it's okay. Talk about it after, though. Talk about it after, because it's definitely getting weird. What's happening at this point? But I'm sure that, Mike, we're probably not going to talk about it in the technical capacity that you would like.
No.
It's going to be much more high level and lowbrow. Up there and lowbrow. Anyways, yeah. Moving on, though. Oh, go ahead, Humble.
No, I was just going to add, now that I'm collecting my thoughts, I know who it is now. Did you guys see the post recently that somebody, I don't remember who the exchange was between, but it was about gold and how somebody was like, yeah, well, gold doesn't need the internet and Bitcoin does. So it's like, where Bitcoin was just a total scam before, now it's like toned down to, well, at least we don't need the internet. And I'm just thinking, really, you don't? Like,
that's right. But
on the records. I mean, like, I don't know, but nobody was saying anything about that. So I'm like, am I just wrong in my thinking? But I'm pretty sure
that gold doesn't need the internet, or it does.
Yeah.
What do you?
No. I mean, well, if you need to keep track of who has it, and if you have physical gold in your house, obviously it's a different story. But most people don't.
The gold, the way that gold is centralized at the London exchange. So yeah, most people who are claiming their gold, they're claiming at some centralized exchange. You need the internet to communicate how much you have. If the internet went out, so would all those people who claim gold somewhere else. So a lot of, again, and if you don't do that, if you take the hard gold, then good luck buying the tools and utilizing someone else to divide it as you exchange it for what? For fiat currency. Gold is a scam, but it's a coping mechanism for people who want to have a new world, but haven't figured out that you need something with communication advancement in order for that new world to happen. Gold is a symbol of what was to come, which is Bitcoin. Bitcoin takes on the communication properties of the internet so that you can have a global monetary system without governments. And those are the kind of things that gold can't even touch, would never. You need governments to have gold. It's a, dare I say it, it's a shit coin, and it always will be. It's just going to have a lot of support and a lot of history. We know that history doesn't mean anything. So,
well, it does for some people. It definitely does for some people. But
that's why it has its price point.
With every block that's mined, Bitcoin's history gets cemented further. So, and it becomes even more difficult to be undone.
There you go. That's
good luck to them on that one, right? Yeah, let's move on, because we have so much more Hopium and Copium and 25 other topics. So yeah, here we go, guys. Jack Mallers announces, if you didn't already know this, Bitcoin backed line of credits. Oh my gosh, we are surprised. Works just like a credit card, but secured with BTC, enabling seamless payments while preserving your Bitcoin stack. And of course, right, it's all about just
so it's another one of these things.
Platforms, sorry.
That's another one of these things that where you could take a loan out against your Bitcoin. What's the difference between this and what he announced like 6 months ago? Remember that?
Honestly, I don't even know. But
I think he's just kind of reminding people, hey, in case you don't know.
Oh, is it? I don't know. It just seemed like
now your Bitcoin.
I don't know. It seems like it's a little bit more of like it's different now. It's a Bitcoin backed line of credit.
Yeah, like an equity line of credit, I guess.
Yeah, so I guess it's a little bit different than borrowing against your Bitcoin, I guess, because in this case it's just, so what is it? You dox your stack so that they give you some cheap money, right? Like, because think about it. I mean, like that's I'm assuming like you just keep your Bitcoin and you just dox your stack, right?
You keep your Bitcoin. So if anything goes wrong with
Think about it.
you,
It's a
if you don't
Bitcoin.
pay back your loan, then they'll come after you from a lawfare standpoint.
So isn't it like the line of credit is backed by Bitcoin? Like you are taking out Bitcoin, or no, it's not. You know what I mean? Like,
It just says that they can borrow against their BTC to make lightning payments, pay bills, manage daily expenses, all without selling their Bitcoin.
Without selling, but again, you kind of have to let them hold it for you.
It's
right?
either it's one of the two, right? It's or both,
It's
right?
still-
You're doxing your stack and or they're holding it for you. So once again, we're right back to where we started.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, look, I've said this before. You know, I obviously, you know, like I'm not just trying to shit on the amazing work that Jack has definitely done. You know, since at least since the beginning of my journey in Bitcoin. I just see it as a natural evolution, though, that Strike eventually just gets merged into what's it called? Just gets merged into CEP, which is going to become 21.
I just want to give a shout out to War Clone. I'm in both chats. He's a super fan because we are streaming live on Rumble.
Oh yeah, that's right. I keep forgetting. So guys, we started streaming on Rumble finally. We were, like I said before, we were on Rumble, but then something happened and then I didn't keep up with it, and then that was the end of that. And now we're gonna try doing it again, and now I remember why I didn't want to keep up with it. But anyways, yeah, it's at least you know what.
Yeah, but isn't it aren't they using, it's just Bitcoin though, right? Yes, you can. I mean, it sounds like he's just trying to get people to use Bitcoin more.
Yeah.
No, I mean, that's not Bitcoin. Yeah.
Yeah, seemingly, right? Like that's what it is. I mean, it's also to a certain extent, right? It creates centralizing forces to Bitcoin. The way I see it.
Yeah.
Right, because I'm assuming that you're going to have to move your Bitcoin to some type of an approved platform or their platform, right? And you're just given the illusion of, of safety as always. Anyways, I mean, this is only this is inevitable, right? I mean, one of the earliest Bitcoin memes is that everybody wants your Bitcoin. So it's not like all of a sudden this has changed. And again, it's just another selling point for the fact that everybody needs to read Everyone's a Scammer from Bitstein. It should, like I've said, it's essential. It should be essential reading even before you buy your first Bitcoin, or even before you think about buying any Bitcoin. Yeah. All right, more Hopium, guys. JP Morgan bending the knee. Jamie Dimon, he hates it. His family buys Bitcoin. He claims he doesn't, but he has no choice but to bend the knee. JP Morgan to allow its institutional clients to use Bitcoin and Ether as collateral for loans. Again, right? What we were just talking about. I'm telling you. Going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. How many people are going to borrow against their Bitcoin? Because there's so many of us, right? Like nobody wants to work, nobody wants to do shit. But at the same time, most people are not willing to cap their desires. Most people aren't, right? You want to have your cake and eat it too, right? It's not just that I don't want to work or that I want to do nothing, but I also want to drive a $150,000 car, and I also want to go out and do all kinds of stupid things and impress everybody else that genuinely doesn't care. Right? Like that's the whole thing. And this is the fucking carrot on the end of the stick. Just give us your Bitcoin, man. Well, we're going to let you do all that good stuff. And you'll see, man, at first it's going to be great, right? People like me that talk about this stuff like we're just idiots and morons, and that's why you're not a multi-bajillionaire. Anyways, it's okay.
I mean, what do we
reverts back to the mean? Okay. Sorry?
What does Saylor call it? Saylor calls it a pristine capital asset, and look, everyone wants to have everyone wants to have their needs met. That's why we have Bitcoin. You know, you want to draw but the idea of putting the classic ethical thing of putting off what is it called? Putting off your desires for, you know, another time, so you can basically stack, you can actually save up so you can truly afford it, and not put the cart before the horse, which essentially, hey, I'll buy something now and pay for it later. We understand credit is a part of the fiat system, but again, Bitcoin is hard money. The reason why is because they can create layers upon layers of money, and you never know who actually owns the foundational root value, because it's just matriculated over and over and over through what's the term? I forget. It's Monday. But
rehypothecation.
Yeah, rehypothecation. The catch is like, but when you hear Saylor talk about Bitcoin nowadays, maybe not in 2020, but they're setting the stage for Bitcoin to be another, almost another, like a steroid injection for another form of source for rehypothecation. So now you see JP Morgan releases this Bitcoin and Ether loan program. You see Jack Mallers talk about Bitcoin line of credit, borrow against your Bitcoin. Within the fiat system, they're using Bitcoin as, oh, like, you have this earned value. Let me hold your Bitcoin and I'll give you some dollars so you can spend. And meanwhile, hey, just trust us, bro. Like, you know, don't worry about, you know, if a crypto crash happens, you know, everything's going to be fine. And then Bitcoin goes down to 50K, like that guy says. And all of a sudden they say, hey, well, based on the terms and conditions, your Bitcoin is my Bitcoin now. That's how we're going to pay for this debt that you took out. And by the way, you put up 4-to-1 on your Bitcoin. So we take that 4 Bitcoin back, and all you have to say for it is, hey, you bought a Maserati. You know, is it worth it? And then, by the way, 3 years later, Bitcoin goes to $1 million, and then you're stuck with your $150,000 car because you couldn't wait. We have to realize that these institutions aren't here to adopt Bitcoin. So they don't see Bitcoin as the way to the future. They see a way to get you to give them your assets. Let's be real.
Yep, they're getting paid, man. That's the whole thing, right? They're getting paid every single day. This is the whole point. That's what they care about. They don't care about Bitcoin. Humble. Your thoughts, JP Morgan, letting you borrow against your Bitcoin or your shitcoin, specifically Ether.
Yeah, it's not shocking to me because they've actually, I mean, I know that Jamie Dimon has said so many times that he wasn't a big fan of Bitcoin, but they've been in the space. They have been in the space, specifically with like the Ethereum and coming up with different avenues to use that. So it's not shocking. It's, you know, they have to play the game, but they have been playing the game. So it's big nothing burger for me. I'm not shocked at all. Yeah,
I agree. It's par for the course. It's, you know, unsurprising that they're going to bend the knee like this. So yeah, right. The big news, right? Rumble. I think I saw Z-Logic talk about how, like, they didn't even mention Bitcoin. They're just talking about stable coins. I showed a video about that before too. Like, it has nothing to even really do with Bitcoin. It's just the fact that of course, right? They're going to accept crypto. But here's anyways, we have a video for this one, of course, right? You can't do this without a video. Let's pull this one up.
Just got the very first creator tip in the history of Rumble.
Confidential that I show on my screen? Yeah, you can show. No,
show the screen. There it is. He's got 450 that just came to his account.
What do you get there?
$4
of what? Kind of a stable coin? I don't know.
I couldn't tell. It looked like a dollar sign, but yeah. I'm not surprised. I mean, you know.
Anyways, good. I mean, look, the reality is that you should be able to do stuff like that. You know, like there's really no reason, you know, for a creator to not be able to, you know, get paid in Bitcoin, you know, or if they
can they accept Bitcoin?
Huh?
Can they?
I can tell you right now. I can tell you right now. For a creator, the only payment option that I have is PayPal from Rumble. So, but also we don't have that many subscribers on Rumble, and supposedly you could only monetize once you have 100 subscribers on Rumble. So, hey, if you're on Rumble and you're watching, subscribe to Pleb Underground, help us get to 100, and then we could figure out if we can get Bitcoin payments. Anyways, but yeah, I mean, look, I think it's a step in the right direction. But like I said earlier today, when I did my daily live show, because I had to go on a rant about this, because using the back end of these products, that it's like Rumble. If Rumble seriously expects to compete with YouTube or even Twitch, they need to seriously ramp up the whole back end, the whole entire uploading of videos, the whole entire like how they segregate the users and their channels and your content. And I mean, man, it is such a nightmare, that whole back end. It's so basic. Like, you can see, I'm sorry to say this, but you can see that they have not put the money that they should. So while when I see CEOs parading around, spending their time on social media and talking about Bitcoin instead of making their fucking product, right, their bread and butter, better, that's a red flag. That's a red flag to me. I don't care how much Bitcoin they buy. That's a shit, like, that's a shit CEO not doing the right thing for his company.
Isn't it funny how you say that? It's funny. The Bitcoin community looks at CEOs as these apostle-like figures. These, like, because we
we're in a giant
money.
MLM scheme. That's why. Because
and it's like
Bitcoin is like modeled around that.
Right. And it's like, no, we don't. I don't care if Microsoft bought Bitcoin. I want Windows to work. I don't care if what is it called? The GameStop, CEO bought Bitcoin. If I'm buying, which I don't anymore, but if I cared about buying my video games at GameStop, hey, make your product better so I don't have to go look somewhere else for my video gaming solution. But again, it's like this kind of thing where it's like, I like Bitcoin. It's like, no, what's more important is that your neighbor likes Bitcoin, or that your fellow at your church likes Bitcoin, or that the person that you play baseball or softball with, or your drinking buddy. If you get those people to like Bitcoin, the CEOs won't have any choice. But guess what? Nowadays it's like, why should I care? Like, my product is what's most important to me, and everyone's using dollars. Make it so that this small group of rich people have no other choice. But that comes from all the individuals.
So what's also scary, I mean, you had mentioned it's kind of scary, with this whole thing with Rumble, because, man, it's like he came out of nowhere. It's like raised from the dead, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and Rumble's going to be everything. And we're moving to El Salvador, because, I mean, their corporate office is in El Salvador now, right?
True.
Yeah. And that was, okay, that's interesting. What happens in El Salvador? Isn't that like this big Bitcoin place? And I mean, and now it's like, it kind of fizzled out. It kind of just, and if you're saying that they're still having issues and it's still very archaic the way they do things, it's like, what are they doing? What are they doing? I mean, why aren't they like amping up the Bitcoin end? I mean, they're surrounded by just like, the Bitcoin mecca. I mean, it isn't, but that's what they want to, say it is.
Social media, because if all you have to do is say, I like Bitcoin, buy my product. And it turns Rumble into essentially an altcoin where it's an affinity scam, and that's not. But then there's the way you want Rumble to turn out. Go ahead.
Right? No, I mean, so Rumble, you would expect to see the technology to improve, given that's essentially what the guy said. It's going to be this amazing thing to work with, and everybody should be moving over there. But it hasn't. And then, obviously Steak and Shake is a little bit different, but they have had to make some significant changes within, their companies. And it's been consistent, and I'm not saying worship that CEO either, but like, at least they were interested, they've stayed interested, and they continue to do things for the betterment of the company. And, I would not say the advancement of Bitcoin, but it's interesting to see the difference between the two, like, obviously someone's taking it very seriously and someone is just really thinking that they can say whatever they want to say.
But in El Salvador, that's kind of like the theme. El Salvador says we're stacking, and they're not. Max Kaiser and Stacy Keebler are chief propagandists for Bitcoin, and that Bitcoin was going to go 300,000 in 2022. These types of things, whatever they say, it just materializes because you have enough people to follow you and enough people to like you. They'll just treat your words as gospel truth. And so Rumble, maybe they are taking on the Bitcoin formula where it's like, hey, as long as you say Bitcoin, everyone will like you. So just say that and, kind of do what you want to do. Which
do you think it's ever going to just fizzle out? Do you think there's just going to be new people coming in and they're going to just be as excited about these people that say Bitcoin? Or do you think it's going to fizzle out eventually? Like, we've seen enough of you. Just stop.
It's not going to, it doesn't seem like it's fizzling out. You can look at did Plan B fizzle out? Plan B has more followers than he ever did. And he was absolutely wrong in 2021. Look at all the people that the Bitcoin communities allegedly ostracized. Robert Breedlove, he's still posting troll pics with him and his wife, and people still engage. If you don't like it, why do you bother? Why do you give him the platform that he knows that you're going to engage with? And guess what? And everyone now you're making memes about it. You're adding BTC sessions on and replacing his wife. And all it does is, but you're complaining. You're so mad that you're going to make a meme about it. And it's like that's exactly what he wants. So it's like, Bitcoin has become kind of, let's see how much we can tug on the cord of all these very, very passionate, zealous people about a monetary system, religious-like, and we kind of have to get our feet under ourselves. We kind of have to come back down to earth and say what is real, what's a distraction, and start fighting things the way we did back in 2017. Maybe we need another block size war.
It's so different. Oh, you want to move on, Doug?
Yeah. My bad. Catch that on the shorts right there. My bad.
No, go ahead.
No, I don't think it's going to be the same. Like, you're not going to get that 2017 again, because it's just slowly these, I guess I'll say revolutionaries, us, like, you're not going to have new ones. You're just not. There's not going to be as many. I mean, there's just, people are coming in for very different reasons because of these ETFs and treasury companies and God knows what else. It's just, it's different. It's so different.
Yeah, we're just seeing just much less involved group of people come in. I would say that's, And
that's Phil's way of closing this up so we can move on to the next topic. Go for it, Phil.
Oh, no, we're still doing the same topic, but we still have one other thing to do on it. One last piece of hopium. We've got a message here from Joe Carlasari.
A
good one,
I did not watch this video, but I saw
too bad for you. Here you go.
Okay, guys, quick message for you. If you're selling Bitcoin right now because you need to pay down some debt, because you want to put that down payment on a house, because you want to buy your fiance a diamond ring, I don't judge. I don't blame anybody who wants to sell Bitcoin to go after something you really care about in life. But if you're selling Bitcoin right now because you're under the ridiculous impression you're going to be able to buy it 50, 60% lower because it's the last year of a 4-year cycle, you're moronic. If you think that's going to happen, you think just because in the past this has always occurred, that it's guaranteed to happen in the future, you should be prepared to take a big L on this one. You should be prepared to be FOMOing back in above 200,000 where we're going next year. Because the market doesn't let everybody win in such a simple way.
Damn. I know a lot of people give him shit. A lot of people give him shit for his takes and stuff like that. And he's a lawyer and he's drumming up his business on Twitter and all that stuff. But I got to tell you, there's some serious conviction there from Joe. I appreciate that. I appreciate his take of the 200K.
I mean, he doesn't do videos very often. That was
no, exactly. Like he's mad. He's mad.
I know. Putting that on record,
right?
Like there's some multiple levels to this. Was that 9 Inch Nail? That sounded like 9 Inch Nail.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to figure out what he was listening to.
But then there was a part of it that didn't sound like 9 Inch Nail. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, I love it.
I don't know who's mad at Breed Love. Like, I don't think people are actually mad, right? Like, it's just like people just don't want to see his cringe. And for those of us that are fortunate enough, we've been blocked a long time ago, so we haven't seen his cringe in a very long time, unless other people
There
show
are
his
people.
cringe.
No,
There are people who are still very much engaged with trying to attack him and harass him. And yeah,
Really?
it cringe. Yeah, I saw the replies. Yeah, it was like,
and if you can't reply, you take a screenshot and you make your own post. And then
Yeah, absolutely.
that because I'm blocked, so I can't.
You're also blocked.
I can't post it. So then
I'm
it's
not
like,
blocked.
I'm gonna take a screenshot and say what I think about this, you know. And it's like, I don't know. You just sometimes. And of course you get comments on that, like, well, why are you reposting this? Why are you? Well, it's like, you know, sometimes you kind of want to express yourself. Sometimes you have feelings, and sometimes you're just like, you know what, this behavior is really unbecoming, and that is my opinion, and I'm gonna put it out there because this is social media. And sometimes I can, you know, but yeah. So I mean, there's people that, yeah, obviously when it comes to the monetization aspect of it, he knows, and of course he can get all this engagement and, you know, monetized by doing that. But some things just can't go without, you know, you don't put a freaking naked picture of your wife and you're basically naked, right? And then talk about your children that you're going to have. And the fact that you have, I don't know, it's just like, it's so, like,
He's cringe.
you just want people to like slay their heroes. You just want them to be like, God, just look at what you're dealing with here. This is just gross. I mean, like, why does anybody need to do this shit? It's awful. And don't talk about kids when you're doing that. And you by the way, you have a daughter out there right now who is going to see this, and your future children will also see your naked bodies up there while you're saying stuff like that. So just nasty. I don't like it.
He's empty inside.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be. But this is the reason it gets under my skin so much is this guy used to talk about faith so much. He used to talk about God and just like, what happened to you?
This is how you.
So again, remember, like going back to why are people here generally? The professional influencers understand their audience very, very clearly, and so we have to understand that as professional humans. That, like Phil normally says, none of us are greater than our incentives, and we always have to kind of take a step back and it's like, why is this person telling me sending me this message? Why is someone telling me to buy, you know, Bitcoin? Why is someone telling me to buy Ethereum? For what? Why is someone telling me to buy Similar Scientific? You know, we have to understand. We have to try to almost play 4D chess with ourselves, and when we do that, we come to the realization that even if they sound like they're doing the right thing, it's likely for nefarious reasons. And the nefarious reason may be say, hey, you know, I just want your attention. And so we have to wonder, do we want to give that person attention or not? But I mean, and going back to Joe, I think there's one thing that Joe does make a good point, that you don't want to just be selling your Bitcoin because you're trying to time cycles. You know, time in market is better than timing the market. And while we are all bear market or believers, we don't know necessarily where the bear market is going to send us. Because guess what? Why? Because we don't know where the bull market is going to send us. You know, if Bitcoin goes to 200,000, that bear market may turn into 100,000. Then what? You know, if we hit the top at 125, yeah, maybe we go down to 50 or 60K. Or maybe guess what? Maybe it squeezes and we only go down to 80 or 75. But the catch is, don't try to say, oh, I'm selling my Bitcoin so I can buy the bottom. You don't know where the bottom is. So I agree with Joe in that you don't have enough information to trade extremes. I don't think we've seen the top yet. And if we haven't seen the top, you're going to get wrecked because it's going to go up. You're going to FOMO buy back in. You will be buying the top, so therefore you'll probably buy $180,000 Bitcoin, and then you'll be panicking when you're on the tail side of that momentum. So it's like, it's not healthy to try to play those timing games.
Yeah, it's definitely not. So here we go. we're moving on to some copium here. Check this out. Time is a flat circle. And everything, and there is nothing new under the sun. We're just going to preface this video with that. Here's Peter Schiff, guys. Here's Peter Schiff.
So you might as well just have tokenized gold and have something that's stable to the price of gold, because that's real stability, because gold will maintain its purchasing power. So ideally, the one thing that makes sense to put on a blockchain is gold, because it will work. And it will do all the things that Bitcoin promises but can never do. You can use tokenized gold as a medium of exchange, as a unit of account, as a store of value. And I probably will. Look, I mean, I'm probably going to launch my own token at some point. I'm building out a platform on Shift Gold right now that people will be able to buy gold. In fact, you know, they'll be able to buy. I don't want to start promoting it yet because I'm trying to get it all
give
up
like
and
a
running.
give a quick right now.
No, but well, so you can buy gold at Shift Gold, right? On an app on your phone. We won't send you the actual gold. The gold will be stored in a vault that you own and you have it.
Bro.
And you'll be able to transfer ownership of that gold to other people, you know, through the app. And
through the database that tracks who holds the gold.
You'll have to buy the vault as well, probably.
Yeah, yeah. You get to rent.
Doesn't sound like a
no. You pay, dude. You pay a lease on it, right? You pay rent, you know, for your gold vault, right? Maintenance
and
costs.
you could use it, you know, as a medium of exchange. You can pay or be paid in gold
instantly.
And you can redeem it in physical gold, or eventually you can redeem it in a token. I'm also going to give people a debit card where if they have $5,000 worth of gold or silver, and they take that debit card and they buy something for $10, $10 worth of gold will get sold to cover the transaction, right? So you can use your gold as a basis of trade in commerce. But ideally, you won't sell the gold. You'll use the gold to make the payment, because the counterparty will want to get paid in gold. He'd say, yes, I'm going to sell you this product. I'm going to provide this service. Pay me in gold. And then you can transfer the quantity of gold, you know, instantly at very low cost, you know, much cheaper, much quicker than you could transfer Bitcoin.
Spoiler alert, nothing's being transferred. Nothing's being transferred. There's no blockchain. There's none of that shit. None of that. It's just a database. And there's an app, right? And there's an API that connects back to a database that's on Amazon Web Services. And the numbers move from one side to the other, and it's all controlled by Schiff's business. It's
Thread guy can hardly contain himself. That is the most exciting. I mean, it's just wow. That's memeable. Like, put somebody else saying something different on the other side and just like line it up with that guy, his reaction. Good Lord.
Oh my God.
The libertarian movement within Bitcoin isn't all what would you say, altruistic or trying to make the world a better place. You know, a lot of people have also thought that because we are all libertarians and we all are free people, I have the right to scam you. And it's essentially my first principle or God-given right to scam you and to do every single thing under the sun, moon, and stars that is bad about cryptocurrency, and put it and wrap it all up and present it to you and use my platform to say, trust me, bro. Like, these types of things are not, these types of things, people will continually gravitate to them because of the person that's saying it. If we said it, you know, we're scammers, we're thieves. But because Peter Schiff says it and he has 1 million followers, somehow it will attract an audience. And mind you, you know, this type of stuff, this type of person is a good friend of a lot of favorite people in the Bitcoin community. A lot of people that have said Bitcoin is great. And by the way, Bitcoin is great. And also Bitcoin treasury companies are great. And by the way, we love talking to Peter Schiff because he's so cool and so funny. This guy's a scammer, and he's creating the affinity of the love-hate relationship with Bitcoin and his legacy in gold to try to take people's wealth. He's a criminal. That's just That's just flat out. He's a criminal against humanity.
He already has gold ordinals, doesn't he? Like gold backed ordinals or something like that. I mean, it was ordinals or NFTs. I'm not sure, but it like came out.
It was the NFT.
Yeah.
And it's just, and this is why it's Copium.
Take off.
Because he's coping, right? We're never gonna have a Pleb Underground coin. We don't need plebs on the blockchain. Plebs get enough crap. You don't need to go on the blockchain. Yeah.
What did I join Pleb Underground for, bro?
Yeah. Oh, you thought we were gonna be on the blockchain? Damn it. Well, we're not. Sorry, none of us are gonna be on the blockchain. But yeah, speaking of which, right, more gold coping. This account, I am sure, is just a troll account. But yeah, so you could see the reason why I highlighted the date here. So we're October 27th. Holy shit, they're about to rug Bitcoin. So if for whatever reason you actually take these accounts, and I know, people watching us, they're definitely not taking these accounts seriously. But if somebody that you know is actually taking these accounts seriously, just let them know that they haven't been right about Bitcoin once. Okay. Right. So just point that out to them. All right. They haven't been right one time. Oh God. Okay. So hold on a second. Tidwell's throwing us some factoids here about, here we go. Fun fact. E-gold was exactly what Peter just described. Started in 1996, got taken down for money laundering in 2007. One of the main reasons for native digital currency, native to the blockchain. Yes, sir. That's right. Good stuff. And yeah, I mean, look, the whole Peter Schiff thing, it's all just central authority. Who cares? Right? Like there's no gold moving back and forth or anything like that. Like it's all just nonsense. And you see, at first he's like, hey, you'll be able to redeem it for gold, but then in the end, you'll be able to redeem it for a token, which is probably much more what he'd rather you do. So,
right. You'll probably get the physical gold for a big sizable cost. He'll say, because guess what? How much does it cost to get that physical gold from the London Exchange? It's London Exchange, you want what? I was like, it's going to have to cost you, buddy. Gold is heavy. It's like that type of stuff. You think you figured it out, but you're not even thinking about the overhead. And we've already talked about, there's no sense in going over again. Gold has lost its battle. Someone already said gold lost its battle against fiat. It couldn't stop fiat. Fiat is better than gold because guess what? It solves a communication problem. Because as we became a bigger society, you can't move gold from LA to Tokyo without a substantial overhead cost. And where does that cost go? Well, that's like the fiat makers are like, why do we need to pay this guy with a boat and a gun? Hey, we'll just make a paper and use computers, bro. So it's like, we've been there. We don't need to go backwards. Bitcoin is the future because why do we need a government telling us how much money we have? We have the internet and it's decentralized. That's the answer. We have to stop. People who platform Peter Schiff, you have to wonder what their incentives are. Again, going back to the influencer, if we see Peter Schiff on a platform that has a Bitcoin logo on it, you have to say, well, who brought this guy on? Because he's a scammer. He's a criminal waiting to. The FBI should be knocking down his door anytime now. I mean, especially if this thing becomes legal and this thing becomes operational. So it's like, who's platforming these type of people? And then you have to wonder, why do I engage with those people? Start questioning who you're engaging with, why, and start questioning what their incentives are and why they engage with you. And 90% of the time, it's to take your money and they give you nothing in return.
Yeah. Humble?
I don't have anything more to add on that one.
No. Okay. All right, we're gonna move on. We've got so much more to go. All right, so we started to see these posts pop up, right? The $250,000 worth of physical nickels, right? No, that's not a typo. But wait, there's more. Then there's $250,000 worth of forever stamps, and then fellow Bitcoiner Raybon did the $250,000 worth of blueberries, and on and on. So look. If you read anything about when money dies, you know that this is the next phase in the money is breaking thing. which is people start to store all of their money into other things besides money, right? And it starts to become objects, not necessarily the traditional assets that you would think of, right? In this case, like the forever stamps one. I mean, I got to tell you, that's not the dumbest thing I've ever heard, in all fairness, because forever stamps used to be 58 cents at one point, and now they're like $1 something. So had I have bought those forever stamps, 15 years ago, I'd be up over 100% on those stamps, technically.
The real returns, though, Phil. Real returns.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah, right. Like, so it's not real returns because it's really just a meter stick that's fucking broken. So it's like it's such nonsense. But the nickels, right? So, anyways, I think See, look, BTC Moon guys got it. Actually, cigarettes. In all fairness, cigarettes have probably been used as currency, like almost as much as currency.
Yeah.
If not more, because if I'm not mistaken, that there's, I can think back to when I was a teenager, and you're not in jail, and cigarettes were a currency back then. So it's like, yeah, it kind of makes you think.
I mean, you can see the NFTs have, and I feel like there's a recent example of something very similar to an NFT that was like a real world NFT. But even now, like as I'm watching the NBA season, they've discovered new ways to essentially print value for these trading card companies. Now the players, the rookies, or people who won an MVP award last year, they're wearing this little gold, gold threaded tag of the NBA logo. And what they do, they wear it for the first week of the season or the first game, and then they take that tag off of the jersey and they place it into a card, and they sell that card 1 for 1. Now that card, again, cardboard is like, guess what? Maybe it's a $2 card because it's a good basketball player, but because it has that gold stitching, that gold colored stitching, and it's in that card, and we're only making one. Trust me, bro, they're only making one. It's going to sell for $250,000. It's a marketing ploy. It has no real value. I'm not saying that collectibles aren't important. I have a couple of Michael Jordan cards in my backyard. I have some Bo Jackson cards. I have some Dream Team cards. We all understand that there is some sort of subjective value to these things, but now you get the hyperbolic nature of them. The Labubu dolls, which are just Beanie Babies, rehashed. How much are we do this because we're looking for ways to say, somehow my money is dying and I have to do something. I have to do something. I don't know what the stock market goes up and down. I can't figure out, but I like dolls and that's it. So let me go give that a try. I like pictures. I like JPEGs. So let me go give that a try. These things are traps, and we all have to become economists and figure out what's wrong with the money and where I should put my savings. And once you take those right steps and you're thinking rationally, you realize that Bitcoin has a very strong use case, and you should be looking at why that is. You going to respond, or you just going to leave that up?
I'm just going to leave that up there. Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah. I didn't smoke cigarettes for very long though, because immediately it didn't take me long to figure out that they sucked.
I actually have dreams that I'm a cigarette smoker.
It's not that fun. It's really.
I have dreams that I lose my teeth and I'm a cigarette smoker.
Oh, that's awful.
All the time.
That is awful.
Figure. Like,
okay, no, those are you know what? Those are dreams of scarcity. You don't want that. Those are like, you don't want those dreams. Bad dreams. Yeah.
Does that mean tobacco going down?
Sorry, no, it's okay. Think of it as mental diarrhea, right? Dreams. Oh, go ahead, Humble.
No, I just said not every dream is about Bitcoin.
I mean, yeah, every dream's about Bitcoin.
Oh,
some of it is mental diarrhea. Some of it is like symbolism, right? Some of it is the future, right? It depends. You don't really know what it is, so I wouldn't place too much importance on it, right? Yeah, don't focus on that too much.
Crazy stuff, man. And 11/11.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, the numbers.
I'll stop. No.
Okay, I say number 23 all the time, so don't worry.
Uh-oh, that's not good.
I know it isn't good.
Good.
Right? Okay. More fun stuff here. Here we go. Garrett Goggins, CFA and CMT. They always find it really important to put the letters in there, right? They always want people to know just how educated they are. So I don't know why. It's like, so either you know how bad of a self-own it is. Anyways, oh my God, here comes the new Bitcoin talking points. This is the stupidest one yet. Tether Gold is the world's ultimate currency with the best of crypto and gold combined. Ah, guys, we've already gone through this. It is the Oracle problem once again. It is the trust me bro crap. None of this wins. This is all cope. This is all cope. All of this has been done 1,000 times before. Tether Gold didn't work when Max Kaiser shilled it 2 years ago. It's not working today. It's not working tomorrow. It doesn't matter. But yeah. Okay, so Bangarang, sorry, I don't mean to go off topic, but I'm originally from Canada. So it was so at the time it was Export A Mild, which was the maroon pack, and or Du Maurier Light. Yeah.
Oh, Du Maurier's were good. I had those.
Maurier's.
Y'all are gonna make me have nightmares again, man.
Yeah, sorry. But in all fairness, for rolling American spirits, top tobacco, decent tobacco. Anyways.
Oh wait, there's okay. Lucky Redfish is
Oh,
the stream is about here. Oh my goodness.
That's horrible.
Hold on, let's put up Lucky Redfish's
All
dream.
dream is about Bitcoin. He's dreaming of early death. Cigarette. Is that what cigarettes are?
He won't be
Early
able
death?
to spend his stack.
So he won't be able to spend his stack.
I mean, you also said you had no teeth, right? Like the teethless dream. Honestly, the toothless dream often has to do, or wooden teeth often has to do with fear of poverty. If you believe in that stuff, right? I always preface this with the wooden teeth, losing teeth, or no teeth.
Losing teeth. I always have teeth. It's always like these are like or it's like loose. Like I hit it and it's like, oh my gosh, I like hit it playing basketball. And it's like loose, and sometimes it's falling out right in my hand. I'm like, man, I gotta go get this fixed.
So maybe for Ulrich, it's a basketball dream. Maybe for let's go with the good thing. Let's say it's a basketball dream and he's just afraid of getting hit in the face with the ball, right? Let's go with the wooden teeth.
That's why I always wear a mouthpiece.
That one, by the way, the wooden teeth is so creepy. It's anyways, don't even, because you're gonna do research about it and you'll be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they used to make wooden teeth.
Oh man.
And then you start to wonder, do I have that dream because I was there in that time? And then you start thinking about multiple lifetimes, and then yeah, so we're not going there.
Oh, we aren't, because we can like a whole episode about it. I have so much to share.
We could. Maybe we should have like an esoteric Bitcoin, an esoteric Pleb Underground Bitcoin thing. Not think boy stuff, but just out there retarded shit.
No, we definitely should do that. We should. Sorry. Bro.
You know the thing about the Goggins guy, though.
The
thing about the Goggins guy.
No, that was different. That was the accountant, not David Goggins.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's his name?
Sure.
What's this guy's name?
I'm just making sure because there's
Goggin. Yeah. Is that like
Goggin and Goggins?
Yeah, my bad. But like they don't they come from a world where they're used to custodying other people's stuff. Like they don't even understand the idea of like, what do you mean you own your wealth? Like we own your wealth and we lend it to you to use, but we take a fee for everything you have. Like the intermediary, the middleman is like the biggest like industry we have with regards to anything, with regards to any kind of sales, any kind of transaction. It's the middleman. What do we have with entertainment? Like you can't even buy tickets for a concert anymore. You have to, Ticketmaster takes them all, or StubHub or SeatGeek, and they take them all. Then they mark it up because the arena that's selling, or the concert hall, is like, yeah, we'll sell it for a flat $100, but then Ticketmaster marks everything up for 3-4 times. The aftermarket, the middleman, the internet takes that away, or makes it easier for you to go to the source of your information or your commerce. And Bitcoin does the same thing with money. That's why these accountants, these traditional finance people, they don't like Bitcoin because it basically takes their job away to a degree.
Yeah, it does, and they're obviously afraid of that, right? And they've come to the realization that they can't do much else. So, all right, more copium, guys. So much more copium. All right. So this one, this is from Bikes and Bitcoin. This shouldn't be surprising to anyone. The OG cypherpunks sitting on 10,000 BTC never wanted to live off the grid in a cabin in the woods. And he's retweeting the Bitcoin news post. Whales trade cold wallets for Wall Street convenience. Some of Bitcoin's biggest hodlers are moving billions into ETFs after July's rule change, allowing tax-free in-kind transfers.
Phil, you were talking about this 7-8 months ago.
Yeah. So look, I mean, I don't even remember what I said 7 or 8 months ago. I'll tell you that.
Like the OGs were exchanging this for not only the ETFs, but the Bitcoin treasury companies too.
So, like the reality is that I do think that this is a giant nothing burger, number one. Number two, the idea that the OGs is this cohesive entity, right, that is doing these things, like
another
that's
religious symbol,
right? Like, yeah, exactly. Like that's not how this works, right? Like, indeed, there's a bunch of people that are enterprising and want to continue to make more off of what they've made already and all of that stuff. Like, sure. But then, of course, there's a bunch of people that just want to go off into the sunset and don't want to deal with any of this crap. So it's really like the whole, the other thing is this, right? You got to go take a look at who is allowed to do in-kind redemptions, right? Like this is, I think it's Lucky Red Fish, right? Yeah, fake news, right? Thank you for your attention. And this exactly, right? Like it is, if you're talking about this, it is totally fake news, because who are the people who are allowed to do in-kind redemptions? Just because you're an OG Bitcoiner, that's not how this works, right? Like I know that we think that we're special and shit like that, but the guys like the guys like what's it called? Like BlackRock, they don't care, right? Like Larry Fink doesn't care. Jamie Dimon doesn't care about you and your Bitcoin stack. Okay, it's authorized participants. It's other institutions. Okay. It's not an OG whale sending his Bitcoin to Larry. Like, it's so stupid.
and the funny part about it is that, they don't, that OGs don't want to live off the grid. Hey, if they got, 5,000 Bitcoin, they can do both. Like, you don't have to give all your just because some cold wallet, cold storage wallet wakes up after 10 years and sends all this Bitcoin to an exchange or to BlackRock, whatever. That doesn't mean that they ain't got more, that they say, you know what, let me have half a foot, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, because they earn that right. They earn that right. And it's like we sensationalizing what other people are doing with their money has nothing to do with Bitcoin's protocol. It's nothing to do with Bitcoin's usability for us. It has nothing to do with the fact that fiat's still dying. And as long as fiat's still dying, Bitcoin is flying. So yeah, someone's going to, guess what? Every time someone's buying Bitcoin, someone's selling. Newsflash. Like let's keep pushing.
Yeah. Let's be real about this. ACP. So it means that if you're an authorized participant, right? So it's an institution 99% of the time. If you go take a look at the authorized participants list, like the people who are actually able to issue shares from the ETF, right? Like those authorized participants, those were all institutions, right? So those were institutions that, again, supposedly sent their Bitcoin, and therefore BlackRock was able to then issue shares based on that Bitcoin that they received. But again, nobody's actually checking any of that, and nobody really knows how much of that is actually true. Doesn't matter. I know. We're just pointing that out. Okay. More Copium. Oh, wait. Same Copium. Different Copium. Hold on. Sorry. No, we already showed the BlackRock one. Okay, so here, this is actually the 4-year cycle. We're back talking about the 4-year cycle again. Never been a 4-year Bitcoin cycle. Never been the halving. Always been the business cycle. This kind of goes in line with my whole thing about human behavior. that previously inflected every 4-ish years right near the halving. How do you know? Because it's also explained every other aspect of Bitcoin's chart. It's a bottom, not a top. Oh my gosh. You know what this means, guys.
Up forever.
That's right. We're just going up. And hold on a second. I've got a better view of that. Better view of that chart. And of course. Oh. There was an issue. Try again later. Thanks. Thanks. All right. So there's the zoomed in. So guys, this means we're about to bump. That's what this means. Oh, I love it. I love it.
If anything, it seems like we've hit the top from this. This is a horrible. This chart is bearish. I hate this chart. It's like, yeah, it looks like we've spent our time in the green, and it's time to turn red.
Look, you got one more big green thing to make there. This is why I hate looking at all this stuff, by the way. Right? This is why, because all of this stuff equals confusion and noise. It's all just confusion and noise.
Yeah.
But for some reason, it makes people feel good about their holdings. Okay, here we go, guys. This is the last. Hold on a second. I believe this is the last Copium. Yeah, it's Copium video. Copium post. Okay. I don't know why I chose my tweet, but yeah. So I'm saying, narrator, this didn't happen, and it's a cope group of not owning Bitcoin, and it is a retweet of Weimar Silver Baron. I'm in a silver group of the non-shills, and every night there's a bunch of former Bitcoin guys in the space who realized it's all a scam. Gold and silver are the exit ramp for Weimar. And look, I mean, look, what's interesting, even though I always say that, shitcoiners can't meme, it's a pretty decent meme. Even though he doesn't have it right exactly, he does. Right? So he's talking about two completely different things. Like, Bitcoin hodlers aren't the same thing necessarily as the people who believe in MicroStrategy per se.
That's right.
Right? Like I'm sorry, the person who puts more importance on hodling versus owning shares, I believe, is looking at Bitcoin differently than a person who thinks it's more important to hold MicroStrategy shares. So
a lot of these gold people, I'm sorry, a lot of these non-Bitcoin people, their worldview is that you're buying something because of the person behind it. You're buying Tesla because of Elon Musk. You're buying U.S. treasuries because of the U.S. government, because there's always somebody that you're actually buying. And with Bitcoin, real Bitcoiners know that there is no one body. There is nobody. There's no, it's rules without rulers is what we call it, right? And so, but because of Saylor and his buying, people equate Michael Saylor as the king of Bitcoin. That just shows that this guy hasn't done his homework, and it's a lot of spite, or as you say, cope, because they didn't buy when they first heard about it, and they can't bring their ego enough in check to say that they're wrong and to buy when at the prices they deserve.
But that meme is pretty accurate, don't you think?
For this MicroStrategy people.
Yeah, for the MicroStrategy hodlers.
Oh, yeah. When you see that, and not only Saylor, but he has a whole bunch of Pied Pipers with all the people that have jumped around from treasury company to treasury company, like Ben Workman and these Punter Jeffs and all the smaller people that hope that they get invited to Saylor's yacht because they say something substantial or supportive of Michael Saylor and his endeavors. And guess what? They probably got invited to the yacht, and I hope it's worth it, but you're propagating a lie. There is no Bitcoin per share that Wall Street cares about. And that is shown with 12 months of data. Like, every one of them was wrong. MicroStrategy is flat. If If anything, it's underperformed Bitcoin in the last 12 months. Bitcoin's up 60%, MicroStrategy's up 12. That's a problem, because why not just buy the regular asset?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we're going to take a look at some of our polls. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be able to get through the 10 topics that we actually had with the 75 million links, because we're already getting to like the 2-hour mark here, and we're not even. This is only like the third thing that we're looking at. So yeah, it's okay. It's good. It's actually fantastic. It just means that there's so much crap going on in this space that you can't even keep up. All right, let's take a look at some of these polls, though. Where are they? That is the first question. Okay, I found them. Hold on. Yeah, we're gonna get them all ready.
And I want to hear from the audience. I want to hear from you two as well. There's some tough questions.
Yeah, there are. I don't like what you asked.
Consider your, weird dystopian hypotheticals where there is no Bitcoin or no Bitcoin self-custody. It's kind of fun. Which are you? Like, I mean, when I see this one, are we starting with this one right here?
No, we're not. I'm getting them all up. StreamYard does this weird thing where everything that you have, it automatically posts, and it's really effing annoying. So anyways, so it's like, because like I wish I could just go and bring in all these things, because you could only have a maximum, at least for my plan, I could only have a maximum of 10 images. Right. So anyways, I got to up that.
But background, like I just started asking our followers like some polls, like some generic stuff. Hey, just want to get maybe pick your guys' brain a little bit, and it's been fun and some surprises as well, like this one. Like
here we go.
We were at TabConf, shout out Mike Tidwell. As a viewer, what's your preference to see from us? And thank you, Mike, for the love. But it's like, do you want not censored or core censored, or ignore both and just talk about other things, or do you want to hear from both sides? And it's obviously an overwhelming view, and I don't even think I need to ask for these two. But this is our goal, to try to not necessarily be neutral. We're not centrist, but we understand that people have compelling arguments on both sides, and we want people to bring those arguments, people that we like from both sides of the fence. We have, we interviewed Matt Hill, we interviewed Shinobi, at TabConf, and they are on the opposite sides of what's best for Bitcoin's software implementation. So 81%, and then of course no one wants, and then some marginal votes for the others. So I appreciate that. What about the next one? Or unless you guys will have some feedback.
Humble, you want to go first?
I think that it's important to hear from both sides, because a lot of us are not well versed on the technical aspects. And some of us know a little bit of the history, but a lot of people don't. I mean, I remember when I first came in and I was trying to understand like Bitcoin toxicity, like Bitcoin maxis are so toxic. And it was a big discussion. It was Dennis Porter was part of the discussion as well back then. And then I learned about the block size wars. It's like, oh, well, this is why. And now you're just seeing both sides extremely toxic. Well, not toxic, but like, well, yeah, actually, I mean, they're really, there's a lot of like personal jabs, and it'd be great if we saw less of that, less of where people are just trying to discredit each other, and more of like, okay, let's really try to understand what's happening. And I understand there's a cycle to this as well. So maybe emotions have been high and it's going to trickle down, but no, emotions are high once again. So will we ever be able to hear both sides?
We're going to try on the Pleb Underground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to do our best to do that. I did see a request. Lucky Redfish. I am blocked by Luke. And I've never even actually interacted with him. So obviously he saw one of my responses, which, in those types of threads, they're usually nothing besides like a Homer Simpson pulling back or a picture of a clown. So obviously neither of those things was very good. But yeah. So
my core values group chat on Twitter. Because that's what I was trying to do, is have a discussion with everybody when this first came out. I was like, okay, and there's people from both sides. It's just not very active because it was, I don't know, kind of died down a little bit. And but yeah, we can reinvigorate that, see what we can get them on here.
Yeah, bangarang. It is all about spam. That's what it's all about. And ACP, yeah, ACP saying he actually wouldn't care if Pleb Underground took a side, even opposite my own, I would still watch. So ACP, I don't disagree with you. I am also very much the same as that. And I think so is Humble and so is Ulrich. And it's because when you're seeking to understand or you're seeking to be accurate in what you understand, then it's not about actually quote unquote picking a side. It's about understanding. Right. Like, and that is a very difficult thing to do in most cases, because you do have to, people have to remove emotion. You have to remove a lot of, right, like a lot of these things, right? The appeal to emotion, the appeal to morality, all of that stuff. And you also have to take your bias out of that, right? Like there's a lot of things, and it's very difficult for a lot of us to do, So unfortunately, we end up in these situations where, you know what I mean? Like, it's not enough for a person to simply accept, like, look, I get that this isn't a perfect solution, but I'm unhappy with what's happening, and this is how I'm showing that. Unfortunately, that isn't as strong as saying that your side is evil and I am good, right? Like, and essentially, creating scenarios where you're dehumanizing the other person or dehumanizing the other group. We saw it happen where the core people started calling, Nazi supporters Nazis, like stuff like that. Like that's just, and then of course the Nazi people started calling core supporters cortards, which in both cases, it's like all of this is cringe and ridiculous. And for me, actually, this goes back to the point that I think I'm going to destroy his name, but I think it's Undisclosed on Twitter. I mean, he kind of said it, he kind of said it best. Like, once you start throwing those ad hominem attacks, like, your argument can't really be taken seriously. And this is what happened to me for, a lot of people that I paid attention to on Twitter that I actually thought I was like, what, these guys are pretty decent signal. They were some of the first people to throw in the ad hominem attacks. And immediately I was like, oh, you know what? I'm glad that I did not, push this person as being some form of signal, because apparently the appeal to emotion has worked for them, right? The appeal to morality has worked for them. Freedom is incredibly inconvenient, guys. Okay. There's a reason why centralized systems with rulers are so easy, right? Because you offset your responsibility to a third party. Okay. Mm-hmm. Third party tells you what to do. Big Daddy government tells us what to do. This is how it works. Anyways. Okay. Sorry. We're going to move on to the next poll.
Okay, cool. Yeah, okay. Just like, hypothetical. You have, Ethereum announces it's shutting down. It's so funny. Another cryptocurrency announced it was shutting down Cadena or something, very close to when I put this poll out. But, if people are liquidating their Ethereum, like let's just say, and there's going to be some people who get out before others, so they're going to sell at 3,500, 4,000, 3,000. They're going to get their chunk. Where do you think that value would flow? Most people think, basically half the respondents say Bitcoin. Other people said Solana or BNB. A small segment said Ethereum Classic. I, for one, think that Ethereum being an NFT shill, a layer 2 crypto utility shill, will find its home somewhere on Solana and BNB. So I voted on my own, and I actually said Solana. I don't think that people who appreciate what cryptocurrency is supposed to be would honestly go to say, you know what, I'm going to give up the games and go to Bitcoin. I think that they would find another game to play. So I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts?
I agree. They would go to Solana and BNB.
Yeah. I mean, I'd actually say that BNB is doing a better job than Solana is. If we're gonna go dumpster diving, right, and we're gonna pick through the sludge, then I'm gonna say the BNB sludge is more desirable. Definitely more desirable than Ethereum. That's for sure.
And also to like, again, I made this poll. Maybe I didn't make it in a all-encompassing use case perspective. So I understand that the question is kind of fudgy, but basically my question is that if Ethereum lost its luster and people are like, basically the game's up, the jig is up, I don't want to play in Ethereum anymore, I want to take my value elsewhere, where would they go? And so that's what I'm trying to say. Maybe I could have figured out a better way to phrase it. I understand. But guess what? If people are selling, like if they're front running the sell, if they have insider information, which we know that happens with the cryptocurrency crowd, some people are going to sell. They're not going to know why, but they're catching on. It's like, hey, I got to sell this off. I got to send my money elsewhere. If they want to play around in crypto still, I don't think that they would be going to Bitcoin, rather one of those other layer one solutions.
Having a shitcoin battle in the chat here. Ethereum, yeah, because there was the DAO hack and BTC Moon guy saying how Ethereum shut down, but then Mike is saying no, it didn't shut down because
Ethereum Classic is still going.
It's true, yeah, and even during the DAO hack, that's true. Ethereum Classic was absolutely still going because it is a proof of work chain. But yeah, it's the Ethereum was Ethereum's already failed, and this is what people don't understand.
That's right.
Moving on to the next poll here. All right, here we go. Running Bitcoin. Look at that.
This is what our crowd. This is the most active survey that I think I put out. I think so far.
So look,
and yeah, most of our audience is nuts.
Yeah, and you know what that tells me? That tells me that the nodes runners, right? Like the people that are running nodes, right? They don't like, and I don't disagree because I don't like that stuff either. I think that I think all this op return garbage, right? That the crap that they're sticking in there, I think it's total fucking nonsense. I completely agree. So yeah, it's just I love how you got a few. There's a few knocking a nodes in there.
I had to throw in knocking a node.
Knocking a node, huh? You got to throw it in there. Tim B and Mars. That's
shout out Mars.
That is some funny shit. 6%.
What are you guys running? What is Phil running? Okay. What is Humble running?
I am running. I've already outed myself. I am running core 28 dot something. I have two nodes. So one of them runs 28 something. Another one runs 26 or 27. I don't remember which one.
I think I'm 28 or 29.
But upgrading is like, I just don't like, my shit runs. Like it works, right? Everything connects. I don't get error messages. So for me, like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's right. So what about Humble?
I don't know what version it is. I know it's on Umbral. I have no idea. Like,
but you haven't upgraded yet.
I haven't, and so that's like one of those things that I'm wondering about is like how many people.
She could be running 27.
I could be, honestly. It's just I really don't know. Something that is just kind of like set aside. Like, oh, is it running right now?
That's the catch.
Oh, no, it's 28. My husband just messaged. He says core 28.
Oh, looks like we have an audience member.
Hey,
we thank you for your viewership, sir.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, there we go. But how many people will just be like, I don't want to run a node anymore because I don't know what I should do?
Well, it seems like 6%. So
yeah.
Looks like 3 people out there say, hey, screw this.
Like, I'm never going to run a node. But maybe, that could be the people who are just like, I'm not going to node anymore.
These people didn't exist last cycle. Like these people last cycle, right? Like there was no option. But at this point, like, and again, right? Like you could see this is what the fracturing is causing, right? We're getting to the point now where, look, people, they'd rather just hold shares or just leave their Bitcoin on an exchange. Just to not have to partake in this ridiculous nonsense. Yeah. All right. What are you doing? So now I know why now I know why we're not getting any subscribers, because you're asking polarizing questions.
Wait, quick question to you, Phil. When did you discover all these polls? Did you even
told me?
Once I told you, did you go look at them all?
Yeah. I went to go check every single one of them. That's how I got the screenshots.
No, I'm being polarizing, man. I was like, hey, I want to know what y'all.
Polls. I'm like, what the hell, Ulrich? I thought you put up like 1 or 2. It turns out there's like 5, 6 of them. I'm like, I love them. So So which are you, taco pleb or carnivore? So look, I am a taco pleb. I mean, yeah, I like steak, right? I like burgers, stuff like that. However, I like a good burrito. I like a good taco. I'm a fan of refried beans and rice and stuff like that, and it doesn't have to be made in seed oil.
It's funny, the poll started off very strong, taco pleb, like 2-1, then all the carnivores came out like like the last like 2 days. So I was surprised. So hey, carnivore, that's I dig it, but I don't eat red meat. Never did, you know, and I just live off of chicken, turkey, and candy. No, I'm just playing. But like I try to eat generally healthy, but yeah, I'm a taco pleb as well. I have a balanced diet except for no red meat actually. And 6'2", 200 pounds. I kind of like it. We'll see how long that goes. What about you, Humble?
Oh, I'm definitely a taco pleb.
Yeah.
Let's go. And yes,
Chinese
Lucky.
up there.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Nothing.
What?
No, wait. I feel like you said Chinese something.
Yeah, I said it's a good thing you didn't put Chinese up there. I'm saying that because
yeah, no, Chinese food is great too.
Where do you want to eat? You know, you have those discussions with your spouse or your significant other. It's like, where do you want to eat? Oh, I really don't care. But like, I will always say, as long as it's not Chinese, I don't care as long as it's not. I do not.
No, chicken is not turkey. And
what is chicken turkey?
I don't know what chicken turkey is. Like turducken? I don't know.
I don't know. Now
we're going down.
Yeah, we're going.
Next question. Carnivores run pleb underground, at least from a democratic standpoint.
Yeah.
We appreciate your follow too. Hypothetical.
Yeah.
And I don't like how no one responded to this one. Y'all got to respond to the hypotheticals, man. You are forced to not self-custody, okay? Like somehow in some weird dystopian, just play by the rules, man. But still keep Bitcoin exposure. Pick your solution. Do you want an ETF or do you want to put your IOU on a crypto exchange? So 4 votes to 2. Not too many people came out for this one. I think this one kind of tripped people out. But it's like, if not these, maybe what you guys would turn into gold and silver bugs. Maybe, I don't know. But I just want to say, hey, Bitcoin only. If you had to do Bitcoin, no self custody. Of course, someone said if it ain't self custody, it's not Bitcoin. I understand. Just play by my rules. So I'm curious about my co-hosts. Let's just say that self-custody is not an option. Hey, Rourke kept it real. Okay. I would not be in Bitcoin if that were the case. So I would be interested to know, maybe, guess what? If you guys don't like the quiz, reply in the comments, say, hey, alternate answer. I would be a gold bug. I would be a silver bug, whatever.
Well, yeah, but that's not what the question is. It says you are forced to not self-custody. So, but you're also being, oops, I'm getting blurry. You're also being forced to choose one of those, right? So
yes.
if I was being forced, then yeah, I would choose the ETF.
Okay. Phil, what about you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're being forced.
We're being forced, man.
And because we're being forced,
by the way, like, because you can't go to Coinbase and I'll just self-custody. There is no self-custody, but there is Bitcoin 21 million and all the stuff that makes Bitcoin except self-custody.
But that's the thing, right? It's like,
I know.
This is that's why it's a terrible question. So I'm going to go back to Rourke's point, right? I wouldn't be in Bitcoin. Like, this is the thing. It's like, and again, I think it depends on which, like, if you had like an MSTR North guy here right now, he'd just be like, bro, ETFs all the way. I don't even have Bitcoin. Like, it wouldn't even be a thought, man. Couldn't give a shit. But depending on when we came into Bitcoin and like for me, when I came into Bitcoin, the self-custody aspect, the fact that the government can't fuck with it, like this is those are the properties. This is what I care about. These are the things that matter to me. So it's like,
No, I understand.
Stocks, man. I wouldn't even waste my time. Like I would just I was doing fine with my crappy MasterCard and Visa and shit like that. And
you go into equities, right? You would find value in good companies.
And I'd be disappointed that the world is burning and that I can't do anything to help it in any way, shape, or form. And I would just go back to that, my despair, my normie despair.
Yeah. And I guess my aim for that question would be to say, like, which one of those things that we see that are alternative to self-custody, which one is is there a lesser of two evils, or are they both bad for different reasons, equally bad? And I was trying to pull that out, and I guess I couldn't, extract that question. Maybe I should ask, which one's worse, ETFs or crypto exchanges? And I think Humble kind of went down the ETF route and said, like, hey, I think ETFs are less bad than crypto exchanges. And I mean, honestly, I think I agree with her. Just
well, if
from
you
all
can't self-custody though, if
Say
you
what?
if you can't self-custody, what would you do? You can't take it off the exchange.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah. So are you rather have your value in a Coinbase, or would you rather have your value in a BlackRock? And from all the things I've seen with the crypto exchanges, the FTXs, the Coinbase is like turning off the lights, as things crash. Binance does the same thing. I just say, hey, the regulated exchanges seem to not, the regulated institutions seem to not be turning off the lights on people. And, that kind of thing matters to me. Like, if you're putting your value in equities, you're doing it because your lights likely won't get turned off. I think that's something, that we're trying to look for. And I think Bitcoin, with this 99.9999% availability, we're looking for places where no one's going to turn the lights off on our ownership of our value. And that's important.
Yeah. That's a good point. Lucky Rush,
That's
Lucky
right.
Rush is saying if there was no self-custody, there'd be no real price or 20. Yeah, exactly. Or 21 million limit. Exactly.
Yeah.
It
And I'll
just
tell
be-
you, there's going to be, some of these questions will hit or miss. I appreciate you guys going along with me on these journeys, but it's me trying to reach out to our audience, who's the greatest audience out there. I mean, to be out here listening to the Pleb Underground when you have so much hopium and fake news and liars out there, pumping your head full of nonsense. It's good to be out here with you guys who are keeping us on the straight and narrow, and we're helping you get the real information, and just hanging out with you guys on a regular basis, talking with you through this digital medium. It's a great time. So appreciate it, and look forward to more polls in the future.
Yeah, please do. I really enjoyed that. I'd actually like it if polls became a staple of this, right? Of the roundtable. I love it. Like, that should be like one of the, staple segments besides the Hopium.
Yeah, we're going to try to get like at least three every 2 weeks. 3 to 4 every 2 weeks.
So the next, I think the last topic we're gonna discuss for the evening, because we did run a little bit long, but I did want to get especially this one in. Mike, we're gonna talk about exactly that. We're gonna, if we actually manage to get 1 or 2 subscribers, we're about to lose them right now, because we're gonna talk about core versus nuts. There you go. This is how you piss everybody off.
Always happens.
Yep. I got punched in the nose for sticking my face in other people's business. Wedding Singer. Just such a great line.
I didn't see that movie.
Yeah. You really? I keep forgetting how old I am, right? It's like my father would sit there, like my father would sit there and be like, Phil, Jackie Gleason. I'm like, I have no idea who that is. And he's like, come on. And you just, you don't realize, when you're old, and you think like that stuff, like everybody knows that stuff. It's like, nope, nobody saw that shit, bro. You're just old. That's what happened,
Sorry, for those days.
It's overrated. It's overrated. One of the weirdest things is when you forget what you're saying in the middle of what you were saying. That's something I was not ready for, but it actually, it becomes very freeing, because at some point you're just like, whatever I was saying wasn't that important anyways. So.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It is. Or what the funny thing is, you walk into the kitchen and you have no idea what you were going to do. So you literally stand there confused, and then you pictured like your own parents doing that, and you're like, oh shit.
Well, you're going through the threshold, and that gets everyone.
But then
I've been getting that for 10 years. That's not happening.
Go back to where you were, and you walk the path again to try to remember.
I do that, yeah.
Of course, I can't believe it. It's like, it's such a thing.
If you try to think the same thoughts again, maybe it'll come back.
Like when I was standing here,
that actually
was
works.
thinking,
It doesn't work at all.
Oh, it works for me, at least for now.
yeah, well, it's not happening as frequently for you yet. Just wait.
Mhm.
Or take some supplements or something, and then maybe that won't happen. I don't know.
So speaking of supplements, I do take Focus Factor, and I do find, just saying, it's the placebo effect. It works.
My pillow as well.
First of all, don't even diss the fucking My Pillow, because that thing is the shit. Okay,
Yeah, I know I've had several of them. They're good.
It's the best. Okay, and honestly, I don't have the back pain. I would wake up with this like
Isn't that what
critical neck
Jack
pain.
Pobasek is shilling?
Which one?
What?
Doesn't Jack Pobasek
Yeah,
shill My
probably.
Pillow?
Oh, my.
Of course.
Does
I mean,
he?
if Mike Lindell sent him money, then yeah, he's shilling it. Yeah, for sure. You know. Anyways, okay, we're supposed to be talking about core versus not, but no, you're not the one apologizing. I'm the one going off in the middle of nowhere. Because Humble mentioned the My Pillow, and I take a very strong stance to the My Pillow.
I know we've talked about it before.
It's a good pillow.
It is a very good pillow. It really is unlike all of the other ones. I don't know how it stays fluffy, but it does.
Well,
yeah. Jack Posabek.
So,
It's like that's his main sponsor. That's funny.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yes, he has 2 vowels in a row, and his name is just impossible to say.
I've never tried. Even tried. Yeah.
I don't know. It's the IE. It's just, or is it EI?
Like Polish or something? What
I don't know. It's okay. It's better than having too many consonants in a row, because that's not even. I don't even know what
sentence.
Yeah. Uh-oh. See, that's it. Phil needs to take more of the factor focus pills. I know, right? And okay, it says we're supposed to take 4 of them a day, but I only take 2 because I don't want to.
Not helping then.
That's not true. You're figuring out what. Look, okay. So the reason why I only take 2 is because I think 4 is a scam, right? I think it's a scam that I take more pills. But then, of course, you could make the argument, well, if that was the case, why wouldn't they just tell you to take 8 a day, right? But then you could also make the case
you'll urinate it out. Like it has to.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
I'm from California. My mom. I've been in natural supplements since I was 5 years old. That's
work. Okay, they work.
They work.
They work.
Yeah.
As long as you follow the directions. Core versus not.
Mike says,
yeah. Oh man, then I'm going to get autism. Like,
oh boy,
migraines for focus. I'm focusing here. Okay. Anyways, let's do it. Let's focus on what destroys this channel. Here we go. Okay. So we're gonna start it off with this tweet from Bitcoin Q&A. Yeah, it's an older tweet, right? You're still wrong. Bitcoin is literally on the verge of permanent death. I just want to point out that we are at day 15 since version 30 is out. Bitcoin hasn't died, right? Blocks are still being mined. It's not dead. Okay, just pointing that out. So
only 7 days ago. That was only 7 days.
Well, hold on a second.
It's October 20th.
The comment
from the comment, but it's all. But
yeah.
Version 30 was released like.
Yes, correct.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's just
the comment was old.
Yeah, that was just his comment. His comment was made on the 20th, and I was just pointing out that it had been 15 days since version 30 had been released, and it's still, it had not died.
Yeah.
So then we got this this reduced data temporary soft fork, right? That was put in by Datanome, which supposedly which is a NIM, okay? And of course, this is supposed to be, this is the, if I'm not mistaken, this is the soft fork BIP. And okay, so Zender, fellow Bitcoiner, posted this: filtering devs say it's illegal to reject the soft fork. And let's take a look at the language that he's talking about, right? And this is where we get into some weirdness, right? Because let's be honest, right? We all, at least I'd say for the 3 of us on stage, believe that Bitcoin is a monetary network, right? Like, I mean, for us, like, that's all I care about doing. That's all I believe this network is most useful for. That to me is where all of its special powers lie. Okay. So this is where, yeah, it is a pretty good screenshot. You got to thank Zender for that stuff. But yeah, so when we get into like weird stuff like this, this is where it's like, you're going down the wrong path. So rejecting this soft fork and may subject you to legal or moral consequences. There is a moral and legal impediment to any attempt to reject this soft fork. And in all fairness, right, there's been some talk about, and again, I don't know how true this is, but supposedly lawyers from Ocean using this particular BIP as a, kind of like a precedent to approach other mining pools to essentially coerce them into using this soft fork, based on legal precedent. So, and again, I don't know how true that is necessarily, right? That was a comment that Greg Maxwell made. All I can say is that we are going to end up. So it's a double-edged sword, okay? I say it's a double-edged sword because this is part of Bitcoin's anti-fragility, right? This is part of, we get to learn, like, right, is Bitcoin what we say it is, or is it this thing that can easily be destroyed because of stupid JPEGs in an op return, right? So there's that aspect of it. So that's good. I think that is good. Like this is just growing pains. We're seeing what happens in an open system, decentralized market. But the other piece to it, the other piece to it is this, right? It ends up wasting a lot of people's time. It ends up wasting, and not only that, but, and again, I get that this can be argued, but there's also some really solid devs which may get turned off from working on Bitcoin, right? Working with Bitcoin, even deciding to do their own little project, maybe that would have been built on top of Bitcoin. And now they're like, nah, fuck it. And of course, right, you can simply use the argument and say, well, whatever, they just don't understand Bitcoin. So, F them. Granted, that may be true. But I just try to look at it from both sides.
Remember, time is money as well, so if they feel like they're spinning their wheels for no gain, for no net gain with whatever, besides, doesn't matter. Like, just like they don't understand Bitcoin, guess what? What's his name? Who's our guy? Who's our guy? Oh, I'm forgetting now.
Who's our guy?
Who's the guy who was on our cover? The white guy from.
You talking about Tucker?
Tucker, yeah, Tucker Carlson. Oh, well,
Tucker.
he doesn't get Bitcoin. Wow, I'm getting old fast, right?
See,
Like,
you
Carlson, the white guy.
Factor.
Tucker Carlson doesn't get Bitcoin. Guess what? Maybe he does, but maybe he gets his audience more. And so it's like, it's just time is just another factor of money. It's like, yeah, I understand that Bitcoin may go up in value, but really it's like, it's more about how I spend my time and how I like the decisions that I make. So it's like these devs, yeah, if they see that that the pressure is too much to spend their time with all their intellect, they could use their time in a way that will line their pockets better and turn away this project. And you don't want that to happen per se. But they're getting a lot of pressure from the ad hominem attacks, and there's not a lot of, I mean, with the fear mongering as well. I remember when FUD used to be outside of Bitcoin, and now there seems to be a lot more FUD coming from within Bitcoin. And it's kind of weird how this cycle has brought that out. Don't know what to think about it.
What does moral consequences? What does that mean to you guys when it's thrown out there? I mean, that's very interesting.
Okay, so this is where we get into the CSAM stuff, right? This is where we get into the topic that everybody wants to stay away from because it is absolutely horrendous, right? And you can't support that shit. And in all fairness, this gets used in the most extreme cases in order to force or coerce people through exactly that, right? Through exactly the moral and legal impediment, right? Or the moral and legal consequences, right? Like, it's like, if you run that code, then you support, right? You support diddlers, and you support CSAM, and you support all of this crap, which is totally untrue. right? Like and this is where we get to that very difficult conversation about how freedom is actually very uncomfortable. There is a lot of friction involved in freedom, right? Because it's not just my freedom, it's also your freedom.
That's right.
Right? You know, so this is where we get into those weeds, and it's like, you know, people sit there and they talk, you know, we talk about, oh yeah, you know, Bitcoin, the money of enemies. Well, whoa, not the enemies that I don't approve of. Well, wait a second. Right? It's a whole bunch of people. And I remember my own reactions, because I remember when ordinals first, you know, when you know, Taproot got activated, and then after that we had ordinals come out, and then we saw the 2,000 sats per V-byte and all that stuff. And, you know, and I sat there and I got super pissed off and everything like that. And, you know, and immediately you start taking a look at the different arguments, and you realize, you say to yourself, well, wait a second, begrudgingly, they are paying the fee to interact on this network. So, you know, begrudgingly, they are not actually breaking any consensus rules. So as much as I hate what they're doing, right, I do support their freedom. So, and like, this is that's the crux of the matter. And at that point, right, normally that's where you lay your arms down, right? Like, it's like at that point, like, there's no more weapons to hold up. Like, I can't continue to fight this person because I've now come to the point of understanding. And so this is where we are at in this argument, where it's beyond understanding. People no longer seeking to understand. People are now seeking to pick a side and have that side win at all costs. And to me, like, I'm seeing crap from both sides that I don't necessarily agree with. However, I also think of the third aspect, which has to do with personal freedom and the ability to exert that freedom and the ability to voluntarily join this network or not. So,
yeah,
it's a tough one, man. It really is a tough one.
What is the US dollar used for?
All that stuff.
All that stuff.
Exactly.
All that stuff. Absolutely.
Exactly. And that's been going on for how long?
A lot longer.
Yeah.
I mean, look,
the same arguments for Tucker against Bitcoin could be applied to against the dollar, but he chooses not to. Same arguments that Knott's people apply to Core, and what Core will enable. You know, the same argument could apply to the money that you're using on a regular basis much more than Bitcoin. So that doesn't invalidate the dollar, and neither should it invalidate Bitcoin.
It doesn't mean I'm supporting any.
That's right.
Dollar. I'm not supporting any.
Exactly. And okay, so another point that I was thinking of was this, right? And I get that it's not the exact same thing, but so do the ISPs have any responsibility for the data that, right? Because of course, 100% law enforcement can go to the ISPs, right? Have them block certain things, but that's law enforcement. That's on behalf of the government, right? But the ISPs themselves, they're not responsible for any of that data. The same thing, believe it or not, for any hardware manufacturer, right? Like any of these, you know, like Cisco, Juniper, right? Any of these companies, are they responsible for what those switches actually get used for, right? Like, is somebody going to go back to Juniper and blame them? You know, what about the chip manufacturers? Like, where does this end, right? So
they're trying to do that with Telegram and Pavel Durov.
Yeah. And it's just, anyways, it's a very messy situation. I definitely, you know, I know I see some people, you know, cheering for like an airdrop or whatever it is. Like, I got to tell you guys, I did not enjoy the BCH fork. I did not enjoy that time, and I didn't think it was fun, especially because I was just beginning to store my value in Bitcoin, and all of a sudden this other thing shows up, and I didn't know enough yet. But you guys will see if we end up going through this. Okay, it's not going to be fun. You're probably going to end up losing some really good acquaintances that you've made in the space. There's just a lot of division that ends up occurring, and it
will be a taxable event.
Oh yeah,
and
we're gonna get wrecked.
if you happen to pick the wrong, so you'll have to liquidate something in order to pay for that. And if you pick the wrong side, whatever it'll be, you know, it will be a wow, I wish this never happened. Imagine all the Bitcoin cashers, whether, you know, if they're saying, hey, you know, I kind of trust this guy, you know, and we're going to follow him. And then, you know, for whatever reason that you put your faith in a certain group or a certain person's story and it's wrong, you kind of wish that the block size wars never, some people wish that probably the block size wars never happened. And this could potentially happen again.
It's good that they did, though.
Yeah. And probably is inevitable.
So Mike said this, right? The question is, is it weird that we must use the most extreme examples in order to build support around a movement? Yeah. Like this is kind of the point, right? This is where the argument no longer actually has any merit, right? And this is why we need this extreme appeal to emotion, this extreme appeal to morality, right? This extreme polarization. You know, like there is a faction of people that are not spam apologizers, right? That are not spam supporters, that are not even core supporters. However, they also don't run knots. Okay. And they don't believe in, and they don't believe that direction is resolving the issue either. Okay. Like that's a whole other, that's a whole other person out there that isn't being accounted for at all. Right? Anyways. All right, guys. Wrapping up. Final thoughts?
For those who are more interested in this type of conversation, me and Phil interviewed Merchadamus at the Tab conference. I think it was day 3. You may want to check that out. He had some nuggets of wisdom. Smart guy. It's fun to try to keep up. That would be mine. Enjoyed it. Have a good one.
Sweet. Humble.
This has been fun. It's been great to be back. And yeah, thanks everyone for hanging out with us and participating in the conversation. It's that's what this is all about. That's what I love about it so much is, you know, we may not cover everything we had planned because my goodness, it's what goes on in 2 weeks, especially now, is just crazy. But really love the conversations that we have in the chat. So thanks everybody.
Yeah, me too. Absolutely awesome. Definitely a great episode. Yeah, we did not get to cover all the topics that we wanted, but that's just because there is so much in each topic, and that's okay, right? Like that's okay. It's not about filling out the checklist. It's about having the conversations, you know? So, hey, thank you, Mike. That's right. Make sure to subscribe to Pleb Underground, and don't forget, we are streaming on YouTube. We're streaming on Twitter, and we are streaming on Rumble. And if you want to stream us sats, you can check us out on fountain.fm. We are there as well, guys. Have a great evening, and I will catch you tomorrow at 12:10 p.m. Eastern Time. We've got the Daily News. That's right, the Pleb Underground Daily News. Signal without the slop. Check it out. Have a great evening, everybody.